And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and or listening to ABL Live. Thank you for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me, live in the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot happening all over the internet, all over the mainstream media, social media, everywhere. We got train robberies coming back to the US of A. They actually never really left, but now we got them back in a serious way because of some very specific reasons. We'll talk about that in a minute. Also, we got to talk about this woke gross preacher. And I promise you guys, I promise, I will not show the actual clip or play it so you guys don't have to hear it, but we're going to talk about it for sure. Yes, we will. The Warriors, the Golden State Warriors NBA basketball team, minority owner, Chamath, a bunch of P's and I's on his last name. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but anyway, a Sri Lankan born person says that the Uyghur situation isn't really a big deal. Nobody cares. We'll talk about that in a minute. Also, rest in peace to Brianna Kupfer, 24-year-old woman in Los Angeles who was stabbed to death in broad daylight, 1:50 p.m. at a high-end furniture store. Why did this happen? We'll talk about that in a minute. Also, the Supreme Court struck down the private biz vax mandate. There's a whole lot more going on in the Supreme Court as well. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show. And I appreciate y'all for that. If you have liked what you heard thus far, please give the video a thumbs up. Share the video, like the video, do all that good stuff. Also, this is a podcast and it will be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether that be Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, Anchor, Apple iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the box, or just go to your favorite platforms and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. And of course, shout out to the sponsors. We have bhedesigns.com. They make these beautiful handmade wooden flags that are right behind me. You could get ones just like those or one of your very own through the link in the description box. And if you're listening to me on the podcast, it should be some kind of information box somewhere. Check that out right there. Also, shout out to patriotpost.us, the best source of news and information anywhere on the internet. Check them out right now today. Their link is also in the box. And of course, shout out to me, my websites, ablmerch.com. Get you a nice fresh hat, hoodie, t-shirt, sticker, whatever you want over on ablmerch.com. More merch coming out soon. I designed everything on there. So if you want something that's not on there, send me an email. We can go ahead and get that rocking and rolling potentially. And speaking about email, you can find my email, my snail mail, my social media accounts, including my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. You can find it on anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY. That letter B, LOGAN.com. Check out the website. Every video has an article for it on the website. So nobody can say that I get my sources from some weird, random, ridiculous place. I don't get it from a gas station bathroom. I don't get it from some random pigeon that flew into my house. I get it straight from real, reputable sources. Again, go to anthonyblogan.com for all that good stuff. Now, where do we begin? And I'm glad to be back. You know, I had a little break on Saturday, but I'm glad to be back. And I'm going to be not missing too many more of these shows. You know, I enjoy doing the show a whole lot. And before we get to anything else, let's just start with the first topic. I want to talk about the Supreme Court first. Let's talk about the Supreme Court, and then we get into the other topics. Mike Todd, that was probably the grossest one I've done, but we'll talk about that. But we won't play no video. It won't be no sounds, so you won't be grossed out. It'll just be talking about church guys like that in general. But before we get there, let's talk about the Supreme Court. Now, the Supreme Court, there's been a lot of rumors. First of all, before I get to the whole thing about the vax mandate being striked down, is that the correct word? Struck or striked down? There was a rumor that was posted as fact by NPR. Matter of fact, hold on, let me see if I can find it right quick. So there was a rumor about I think it might have been Neil Gorsuch or somebody not wearing a mask in chambers or somewhere. I guess where you have to be next to other justices, and one of the liberal justices didn't like it too much, and it was an argument over mask wearing and stuff like that. And the conservatives have power in the court, so it's a battle for power in the court. But really, it was phony. It wasn't even real. Okay, it wasn't even the real story. Like the liberals and conservatives both said that it wasn't the real story. It was nothing about somebody not wanting to wear a mask, and nobody was asked to wear a mask. It was nonsense. Matter of fact, here it is. So it was Chief Justice John Roberts, who's kind of conservative a little bit when he wants to be, and Sonia Sotomayor, right? And also Gorsuch. They all denied it. So let me go over to the article right quick. Let's go to the article right quick. This is on, what's this, New York Post. So you see it right here. Robert, Sotomayor, and Gorsuch deny NPR report of Supreme Court mass drama. And before I even get into this particular story right here, I just want to say that there's so much fake news. It's so much fake news out there that's masquerading as real news that comes from the left, mostly. Okay. I remember back when they said Alex Jones was fake, and if you listen to Alex Jones, you're not gonna, it's like the National Enquirer, all this, that, and the third. But in reality, Alex Jones, even Joe Rogan, all these guys that they say don't listen to, don't pay them any mind. They're not talking about anything real. It seems like these guys have the correct information. It seems like Joe Rogan has correct information. I'll talk more about Joe Rogan in a minute as well, speaking about fake news. But Alex Jones and these guys have the right information. Okay, they're making the frogs gay. Well, the frogs are turning gay depending upon where you are. That's a real thing that's been confirmed. However, I turn on the mainstream media. I turn on one of these alphabet letter organizations. I read one of the publications, go to their website or whatever have you, and I just see a bunch of fake, ridiculous nonsense all the time that gets proven to be fake. They always have retractions or apologies. You don't really see it. They kind of put it at the end of the, end of the newspaper. They put it at the bottom of the website. They'll issue a retraction on TV at 2:00 in the morning, so you don't see it. They do that all the time on the left. And here is yet another example of that. And you know what? They do it on purpose because once it's out there, it's out there. They can retract it and say, oops, that was a mistake, my bad. There may even be some kind of lawsuit. It doesn't matter because they'll put it out there and it sticks as, a fact. Just like we know now that these cloth masks don't work at all. They said that. They came out there and said that. It's not me saying it. It's not ABL saying it. It's the CDC. It's all these so-called experts that they put on TV. The ones that want to have on TV, the cherry-picked experts, they're saying masks don't work. Then you got to get the KN95, all these kind of ridiculous things. What they'll say next is tie a Food Line bag over your head to keep all the particles out. It won't be nothing entering or exiting, but I'm going down the rabbit hole, so I'm going to get up out of that and digress. The whole point is that there's so much fake stuff out there from the left. Now it's become expected. But let's get back to this thing right here. So there was a report talking about, I think it might have been Gorsuch not wanting to wear a mask, and that was somehow a wrong thing to do. Although we know these masks don't even really work like that. Okay. Your Paw Patrol mask is not going to stop the deadliest virus the world has ever seen. Although it's not the way the media portray it as if it is. But is there anything in this article I've not said yet? Let me see. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay. So it was an NPR report. Let me see if I can find the NPR. Let me see if the report. Okay. So here's the report. Gorsuch didn't mask despite Sotomayor's virus worries, leading her to telework. My thing is, it's like, all right, are you ever around anybody else though? If you're worried about one guy not wearing the mask, even though this story is fake from what they say in the Supreme Court, even Sotomayor, who was a liberal, denied it. The so-called victim liberal, she denied it. But even if it's real, like, is one guy, like, is that enough to like go home and not even go to work? And what are you doing at work anyway as one of these liberal justices? What are you really doing at work? Not a whole lot, in my humble opinion. Okay. So, like, I think this is just propaganda to get people to wear masks. And I wouldn't be surprised if NPR had some kind of stock in a KN95 or N95 or regular mask company. Wouldn't be surprised at all. And you know what? Speaking about stuff like this, how it's kind of like fake news, but it's done for a reason. I think one of the main reasons is to get you to wear your mask, to smear the bench, as far as the conservatives on the bench, to smear them, to smear Neil Gorsuch. Same thing they did with, what was that? Christine Blasey Ford. It was to smear Brett Kavanaugh. The whole point is to smear them, and also, as a bonus, to promote mask wearing and to promote mask buying. I saw a tweet that said, you know what? If you guys are like another pandemic planned, if you guys are planning another pandemic, let me know ahead of time so I can get some stock the same way y'all did. All right. I'm gonna get some stock in some of these masks. I'm gonna get some stock in some of these vax providers, Pfizer and whatnot, because these are publicly traded companies, Pfizer and whatnot. If you were to, put a bunch of money into Pfizer before this whole event happened, you would definitely get a kickback right now. You would definitely be in the winning position right now. If you invested money into Pfizer in 2018 and you were to cash out right now, you made some profit, 100%. Because they're printing government monies, trillions of dollars. What they said, like 4.8 trillion? People don't, like, that's an insane amount of money. That's more than, I can't even put it into words. That's a lot of money. 4.8 trillion. The GDP of the whole world is like 90 trillion. 4.8 trillion is an insane amount of money. And it ain't nothing but debt, a whole lot of debt. So they're just printing money straight from the Fed into their pockets. So if you had stock in Pfizer, Moderna, etc., you made out very well, 1,000%, right? But anyway, all the propaganda I'm kind of getting tired of, and I think you guys are as well. We know the Omarion is not really that serious. If you catch it, it's like a head cold for the most part, from what I hear, mild symptoms. And the funny part is that they're saying, okay, to fight this bug, go out there and get the vax. But yet they also say there's going to be a new vax coming in March from Pfizer to combat Omarion. Okay, well, what's the point in the new one if the current one works? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Why would I buy a brand new truck if my current truck works? I mean, I might want to be cool, have a brand new truck, some big wheels and some sounds and whatnot, but there's no actual need to get it. I just want it. If my truck works just fine, nothing is wrong with it, I don't actually need a new one. I might want a new one just because I want to show off. They may want a new one just because they want to get money. It's not an actual necessity as far as public health is concerned, right? So yeah, and shout out to Glenn Youngkin in Virginia for rescinding, what was that, the vax and mask mandates in Virginia. Now, the thing about it is that I think it's going to be up to each particular city and county in the state what they do. So although there's that from the state that says it, they still may have it in certain schools like in Northern Virginia, depending upon where you are. That still may be a thing. Although it was pointless, we already know it don't work. We know that it's pretty much coming to an end. I saw in UK that they've eliminated a lot of these mask and vax mandates. They just said, you know what, we're going to just go ahead and move forward. There's still some restrictions for whatever the reason may be, but at a certain point, it's going to come to an end. I'm not sure how they're going to, I think what they're going to do is this whole N95 mask thing. I saw that Biden's going to have like 400 million of those. And my thing, okay, how many masks is 400 million masks, really? That's almost one for every person in America. Well, that's right around that. It's like a little more than one per person in America. Let's just say it's two for every adult. Two for every adult. Let's, for math's sake. How long is that going to last? Okay, how long does your Paw Patrol mask last? How long does your Black Panther mask last? I've seen some of these kids wearing masks and they're totally filthy. How long is a KN95 mask gonna stay clean? That thing gonna be dirty immediately, especially since you don't really have a lot of ventilation. It's gonna be chock full of schmutz. Can you put a KN95 in the washing machine? Can you put it in the dishwasher? Can you wash that by hand? Just scrub it with some palm olive and whatnot. A scrub daddy? Can you do that? I don't think so. All you're gonna do is just waste $400 million and fill up the landfill. Where are the environmentalists at? Where are they? Because I see all kind of virus-related paraphernalia all over the place. It's like needles in San Francisco, all over the ground, all in trees and cars, just all over the place, mixed in with mulch. It's like, what are we doing here? And I've seen how these surgical masks get produced. There was a clip, if I could find that clip, I'll play it for you guys. But there was some guys in India, and you know how some of these shops are. They had a sewing machine making the mask. My man was stepping on the mask with his feet. I mean, the mask on the ground. It's like, hey, I'm not gonna put that on my face. Lord knows where this man's feet have been. You understand? And his feet were on your mask while he's producing them. They're going to produce them masks, put them in some packaging, and send them straight to the United States. There you go. Take that. I got my foot fungus and athlete's feet all on your mask. Put it on your face for 8 hours a day. And if you have any kind of rash or whatnot that develops, that's your fault, man. It ain't my fault. It ain't my foot. It ain't the shipping. It ain't the materials. That's your fault. You see what I'm saying? That's how that goes. So, yeah, this whole thing is kind of dumb. But shout out to NPR and all these other alphabet letter organizations for having all this fake news. So much fake news out there that I think it's safe to say that they are the new conspiracy theorists. They are the new National Enquirer, the mainstream media. They have become the National Enquirer, 100%. Okay, all these boogeyman stories about Vladimir Putin and whatnot, but they totally ignore China. China is the actual problem, but they don't want you to know about that because it gets too much money with China. That's too much of a big issue with money coming from the Chinese government. So you can't know about that. But you can know about Vladimir Putin somehow being the threat for whatever reason. I'm not really sure why. But I'll move right along. Now, speaking about China, let's talk about China right quick. So shout out to this guy, Chamath. His name has too many C's and A's and P's and I's. It's just a whole Fruit Loop soup full of vowels and consonants. I don't know how to pronounce that name. You understand what I'm saying? It's a whole lot going on. But he's from Sri Lanka, so that kind of explains it. You know, they got them kind of long names like that over there in that part of the world. But anyway, he is a minority owner with the Golden State Warriors, NBA basketball team. And if you don't know what that means, a lot of you guys probably know, but not everyone's, a brilliant rocket scientist like you guys are. But basically, he's not the principal owner. He owns like less than 10% of the Golden State Warriors. So you'll see his Twitter bio, it'll say owner. That's not owner in the same way that I will own my business here in my house. That's not the same thing. He owns a piece of it, a nice piece of it, and he is a billionaire. I think he had like a venture capital company. I think he's an ex-Facebook executive. If I'm wrong about that, let me know in the comments. But regardless of what, he owns a minority share of the Golden State Warriors NBA basketball team. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, you know the rest. Steve Kerr, head coach, former Chicago Bulls player. But anyway, he was on this podcast called All In. Now, the reason why I say it's his podcast is that nobody can say that this was some kind of media hit job and they were trying to attack him and they coerced a certain response out of him. No. This is his podcast. It's called All In. If you go to the All In podcast website, his name is right there. And if you go click on his Twitter profile, the All In podcast is right there in his bio. So if you're on the website and it's in your bio, it's yours. You're not just a guest on there. It's your podcast. So some of his co-hosts, I guess, talking about the Uyghurs and China. He's like, you know what? Who cares about that? Don't nobody care about that. That's like really low as far as things on my, like, that's like below my line. I guess the line is, I guess if you are above the line, then he cares. If you're below the line, then he does not care, right? I guess that's kind of what's going on with that. If I can hear this right here, perfect timing. And you guys got to hear this right quick so you can kind of be on the same page if you've not seen it already. And let's see. Yeah, the NBA has gone down the tube since they took money from China. And before I get to this video, the thing about, matter of fact, I'm getting way ahead of myself. Let's play the video first, and then I'll talk a little bit more about why he probably said this.
Nobody cares about, nobody cares about what's happening to the Uyghurs, okay? You bring it up because you really care, and I think that's nice that you care. The rest of us don't care. I'm just telling you a very hard...
Wait, you're saying you personally don't care?
I'm telling you a very hard, ugly truth, okay? Of all the things that I care about, yes, it is below my line. Okay? Of all the things that I care about, it is below my line.
Disappointing.
Nobody cares.
Now, I'm going to say this. There's a few things here. First of all, the reaction right here.
Up because you really care, and I think...
Do you believe that reaction? What? Do you believe that reaction? I'm not really sure that you do. And again, it's his podcast, so I'm going to venture out and say they've probably heard that from him before, just not on mic, just not on camera, behind the scenes, not on the show. They probably already had a conversation, and then he's on camera saying it, and they have to act kind of surprised because they don't want to lose any friends, family, or whatever over the whole issue of the Uyghurs. So that reaction, I'm not really sure I believe. Maybe it's a legitimate reaction, but it kind of seems forced and phony, first of all. But second of all, I believe him. He probably does not care about the Uyghurs. And the reason why he doesn't care is because if he does care, then that affects his pockets in a negative way. You understand? Because if you come out as an NBA minority owner and say that China is a brutal regime, they're killing their own people, all this, that, and the third, that's going to ruin your money. That's going to damage your ability to make money as an NBA executive, as an NBA minority owner. That's going to ruin your chance to make money. Because there was one guy that came out, another NBA executive, he came out and said something about free Hong Kong back about, 2-3 years ago, something like that. Let me see if I can find that. And then LeBron came out and called him ignorant. It was crazy. They really attacked him. Yeah, so this was 2019. Daryl Morey. So here it is right here. So NBA executives Hong Kong tweet starts firestorm in China. This is back in 2019. What day was this? October 6, 2019. So Daryl Morey, the general manager of the Houston Rockets, posted a tweet supporting protesters in Hong Kong, upsetting the Chinese Basketball Association led by Hall of Famer Yao Ming. Now, understand this. There's a lot to this right here. Again, all he said was basically free Hong Kong, and that was it. It wasn't too much more than that. Let me see if I can, he apologized right there, but let me see if I can find the original tweet. I might not be able to, but it just said free Hong Kong. Now, Yao Ming played for the Rockets, so the Rockets are very popular in China. So, put that in context. You have a superstar player who's Chinese, probably the only Chinese player in the league at the time. One of the very few to ever play in the NBA, Jeremy Lin, Yao Ming, and one more big guy, I forget his name. But Yao Ming is like Michael Jordan to the Chinese. And he played for the Rockets. So when he comes out and says free Hong Kong as the GM, as a Rockets GM, oh, no, that's all bad. Apologize, take it down. So they made him pretty much, apologize and say, I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. And he still wound up getting fired, or he had to resign and step down and things of that nature because of what he said. It was crazy. All because of one tweet. So what if the guy Chamath come out and says something about the Chinese being brutal dictators and murderers, and they got Muslims in concentration camps? Oh my goodness. He would not only have to sell his stake of the Golden State Warriors, he might not find work ever again in basketball. Because here's the thing about it. It's all about money. Okay. It's all about money, because even if he believes other things aren't really a big issue, he would never say them. And I'm talking about things like Black Lives Matter. That guy, Chamath, would never say Black Lives Matter, that's below my line. I don't care about Black Lives Matter. I don't care about no What was the guy that got shot in Milwaukee? I don't care about Jacob Blake. I don't care about Breonna Taylor. I don't care about George Floyd. F them. That's below my line. He would never say that, even if he believes it. Why? Because the NBA guys care about that. Remember when they went to the lockdown because of the bug, they canceled play. And when they came back, they had Black Lives Matter on the basketball court, on their jerseys. It was a whole big thing. And the reason why they came back like that is because the players wanted it. It was a whole meeting of guys and saying, look, if we want to come back and play all these games in Orlando, Florida in a so-called bubble, we want X, Y, and Z. And they did it. And part of that was having Black Lives Matter everywhere. Black Lives Matter was so prevalent on the court, it was like a NASCAR sponsor. You got it on your jersey, on your car. You got it on your helmet, your gloves, your shoes, everywhere. You giving your interview post-race talking about it. That's kind of how it was back in 2020, 2021 when the NBA came back. So he would never say that I don't care about these Black Lives Matter figures or causes because that'll also affect his money. It's all about cash, period. It's not even about, well, this is just my truth. I'm just being honest. No, because he won't be all the way that way when it comes to other things. He comes off as an SJW, cares about social causes, but doesn't care about the Uyghurs in China. Weird how that works. I mean, you have literally, in China, they are a minority population, ethnically and religiously, because they're Islamic, and they are not Han at all. They're like closer to Tajikistan and Turkmenistan. They're a whole different race of people, whole different thing. They're more like the Kazakhs. Okay, they're not like the Han Chinese in Shanghai and Beijing. They're not them. So ethnic minority, religious minority, being persecuted, put in basically concentration camps. You have all of the trimmings of a victimized group, of a marginalized group, but they don't really care about that. And also, people that are just regular normies don't really know about it, so they don't really care that much either. If you were to ask a regular person about the Uyghurs in China, they'd be like, what's that? Uyghurs? Are you cursing at me? Are you calling me a derogatory term? They have no idea who the Uyghurs are in China at all because the media are not talking about it, right? However, the media will talk about Black Lives Matter, hands up, don't shoot, January 6th, Russia, to the point where regular normies talk about it as well. You be just, minding your business, eating a chicken sandwich at Chick-fil-A, something like that. And in the background, you hear some regular normie on his lunch break talking about Russia, interfering with the election. Word for word, they get their talking point straight from the Common News Network, MS13DNC, word for word, because they've been programmed over and over and over again to think and to react like that to certain little triggers that they hear. It's crazy. It really is. But that's the reason why people don't really know about the Uyghurs is because they're not being talked about. But if they were being talked about, if the media did really want you to know about it, if the media were not in China's pocket, then you would know about it. If the Uyghurs were in Russia rather than China, you'd know about it for sure. Like if that part, East Turkestan, Xinjiang province, if that was not in China, in China's borders, if it was in Siberia, just a little bit further up north, if it was in Siberia, you would know about it. Because you turn on the news right now, what are they talking about? They're talking about Russia could invade Ukraine at any time. Okay, that's the whole thing. If it doesn't happen, then they'll just totally ignore it, like it didn't, like it wasn't even talked about. Oh, we never said that. We never said they were going to invade. It was a high chance. It was probable, but we didn't say they were going to invade. That's how they're going to play it. That's how they're going to do. And if they do invade, what's going to happen? Nothing. not a thing. Because Biden already gave Russia the Stream pipeline. I don't say it that wrong, but pardon me. There was a pipeline going from Russia to Germany, and we had to clear it for whatever the reason may be. I think as a member of NATO, we had to clear it, but whatever. We cleared the pipeline from Russia to Germany, so they already got that. So that's all they really need. They have the ability to make money, to support themselves, to do certain things, to be ambitious. Okay, let's take the eastern part of Ukraine. You already got Crimea. let's take some more. And let's take the Baltic states and Belarus and Lithuania, all of that too. And what's going to happen? Nothing. So it's all just fear mongering at the end of the day, 100%. But you guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. So if you enjoyed what you're hearing thus far, please give the video a thumbs up. Also, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. We got some more here. Let me just post this so everybody knows we're live. I almost forgot to do that part. And let's go ahead and get to some more. Oh, now LA train robberies. This whole thing is crazy. So train robberies are still a thing. Now, it's not like I was saying in my video, it's not like Red Dead Redemption. It's not like some of these old country westerns when they get on the train with the old timey revolvers and you got a single action revolver. You got to, hit it every time, or big shotgun, long rifle. It's not quite like that. Where they're going on the train, robbing passengers of all their jewelry and belongings and whatnot. It's not that way. What they're doing in LA is when these trains that have containers on them full of packages from Amazon, UPS, FedEx, etc., when the trains slow down and or stop in a particular area of Los Angeles, you have people, criminals, gangs of people coming out from the woodworks and breaking the containers open and taking whatever's inside. They don't care what your box is. They're just going to tear it open, see if they want it. If they want it, they'll take it. If they don't, leave it right there on the ground. Okay, so some of you guys may have seen that you had something shipped from Amazon, and then you check in to see what the status is getting delayed or undeliverable or something crazy. It's like, where's my package at? Okay, I ordered a Foreman grill. I want that thing right now today. I got some steaks. I'm trying to get my steaks eaten right now. Where's my Foreman grill at? Hey, man, it might have been in Los Angeles at a little port or a little station, and it could have been stolen. It could have been damaged. It could have just been thrown away. And the whole thing is crazy. It makes that part of the state look like a third world country. And I don't want to say that for the whole state, because I know that California can be beautiful. But if you're living in Los Angeles, forget about it. Forget about it. I always say, I was in LA before. I went to LA. I was in LA twice. Was it twice? Yeah, I think. I forgot. Yeah, but I think I was in LA at least once or twice. But I was not impressed. Not at all. Didn't like it. And when I went, it was raining on top of that. But even beyond the rain, I didn't like it. Too many people, too crowded. It looked really third world. Okay. It looked like somewhere Southeast Asia, war-torn country. It was not really good at all. And it's happening a lot like that because people allow it. I'm talking about the authority, people that can make this whole thing go away or get reduced, don't do anything. It's like a prosecution. The police can do their job and lock these guys up, arrest them, send them to jail. But if there's no prosecution, if these guys get slapped on the wrist, if there's no bail, then what are you going to do? Nothing you can do. The guys will get arrested. They'll go to jail, or not even, it won't be no jail. They get arrested, they get booked and released like within an hour. So the next day, when the train stops again at 3:00 in the morning, they'll be right back out there with their book bag and their bolt cutters or whatever they got to power up in the containers, and they'll steal some more stuff. They're stealing handbags, cell phones, anything valuable. If it's not valuable to them, they leave it on the ground. There could be some really important things. EpiPens, like that's pretty important if you got an allergy and you need EpiPen for yourself, and you were kind of like, depending upon your Amazon Prime, you're getting it rushed to you because you need that right now. And then some moron in LA opens your box, takes the pen, examines it, and throws it on the ground. It's like, why'd you do that? Just leave it right there. But they don't care about that. Criminals don't care about that. And that's a problem. You know, as I find the video, people that are really involved with bail reform, criminal reform, basically, and no justice in it. But anyway, people that are involved in bail reform and they want to give poor people a chance, they don't understand that some people don't really want to be helped. They don't really want to be fixed. They're fine doing what they do. They think that it's okay to go out here and steal and hurt people. They don't really care about being reformed. They don't care about none of that. If you give them the no bail or cheaper bail, all they're going to do is get out quicker and go commit more crime. Some people are just going to be menaces, nothing else. That's all. So you can't really fix them. All you can do is punish them, period. Now, some guys may just do something that's, okay, you get a speeding ticket, something like that. All right, that's one thing. But if you've been arrested 25 times in 1 year, I mean, come on, man. Like, at a certain point, we got to just stop playing games with what we're doing. You got to stop playing games and act like it's not really a real thing that's going on. Let's just stop. So there's no point of the bail reform. Bail reform, all it does is put regular normies in danger. It puts you and I in danger, because I don't know about y'all, but if a guy is locked up on suspicion of murder, some kind of violent assault, something like that, I don't want him to be on the street. I want him to be locked up. And here's a video I'm talking about as I was just looking for it. So I don't want to have scenes like this just plague an area. Okay, so this is Los Angeles. This is not Calcutta. It's not Manila. This is not somewhere Thailand, Bangkok. This ain't nothing like that. This is Los Angeles, California. Pardon the noise, but yeah. Matter of fact, turn that sound off. So basically what you're seeing right here is the train still rolling, but boxes, as far as the eye can see, boxes, paper, packaging, all types of stuff from Amazon, a lot of it, and other websites you get, they send it through UPS, FedEx, etc., all on the ground. Okay, ABL, water littering. Why would they? What's the point of somebody that is a criminal also being some kind of environmentalist? They don't care. They throw that stuff on the ground because they're not really trying to go out there and clean it up. They're not trying to do anything responsible. These are criminals that go out there and they steal things. And these people are organized crime. And you know what? This is a mess out here. Shout out to the Rooster Tail Fishing Lure. This is a mess out here, but it had been cleaned 30 days ago. So and the reason why I say that is because you got to get that point. They don't care about being arrested. There's no fear of that. They get arrested, they come right back and continue doing the same thing they did. That's how it goes in Los Angeles, right? And that is a problem. And you're going to see the same thing happen all over the country. You get the new DA out there in Manhattan, Alvin Bragg. He's talking about, we're not going to prosecute for certain offenses and we're going to give guys and girls a chance. I don't understand that. I want to speak to a guy that's in favor of bail reform. I don't really see the purpose because they act like these criminals are just soft and cuddly and all they need is a warm hug from their mama and a tall glass milk and some cookies. But these people are not that way. These people, a lot of them are organized, hardened, serious, and dangerous people. They don't care about your bail reform. That's not going to help them. Like, explain it to me. How is having bail reform going to reduce crime? Okay, you may have one or two guys that probably shouldn't be locked up, get out, but you got hundreds, if not thousands more that are out on the street that shouldn't be out on the street. You are a suspect in a home invasion, a carjacking, kidnapping, murder, assault. Why are you just out on the street like ain't nothing going on with no bail? I mean, come on. That brings me to the next case, which is of Brianna Kupfer. May she rest in peace. 24 years old, beautiful woman, keeping all the way real. That's just what it is. People are going to see her and feel that because this is somebody that did not have to die. You're at a furniture store working by yourself, honest job, ain't doing nothing crazy, and you get killed by some random guy on the street. Okay, and her dad was on there. I mean, I almost broke a tear. Her dad was being very respectful, but he was like, look, we can't do things that are going to rob people of their rights because someone wants rights for themselves. This is the whole thing about the LGBTQ elemental P stuff, right? They say they want particular rights. Like, okay, you're Bruce Jenner and you want to go into the bathroom, but all your equipment, with all your male equipment, it's like, okay, sir, you're endangering the women in here. If you weren't a celebrity, if you're just like a regular Joe that identifies as trans, right? If you're a regular Joe that identifies as trans and you're looking like Evander Holyfield, Buster Douglas, and Riddick Bowe put together, you're 6'8", got all your stuff, you're going to be a threat to the women and girls in the bathroom if you're allowed to go in there and say, yeah, I'm a woman today. That's a threat. It's dangerous. We don't want that. We want to have a safe and civil society. Okay? Now, let's go and play that particular video from Fox where the father was there. And you're also going to see the guy's mugshots. The guy had at least 1 dozen mugshots from the past, now 12 years. The mugshots were 10 years, but he's been active in criminal activity since 2010. You have a career criminal. If you get arrested one time, you drunk in public, something like that, okay. But 12 times over the past 10 years, over the past 12 years, I mean, at a certain point, that's a career criminal. And your most recent violation took someone's life. What are we talking about? What are we actually talking about? Can I find that clip? Give me 1 second here. I'm going to find it for you guys. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And I'll find it eventually. Matter of fact, hold on. Do I have it? Okay, here we go. I'm narrowing down the video. There we go. All right. Now, I won't play the entire thing, but I'll play the first minute so you can kind of see what's going on here. Now, again, 24-year-old girl, Brianna Kupfer, was at a department store, a high-end furniture store in Los Angeles working on his job. Here comes this guy who stabs her, kills her, and walks off like ain't nothing going on. Casually walked off, went and bought a vape pen and nothing happened. And, of course, he's homeless. I'll talk more about that in a minute. Here's the video.
Smith was seen walking around the neighborhood, entering several stores before going into the shop where Brianna was working by herself at night.
Now, pause right there. It wasn't at night. It was in broad daylight, 1:50 p.m. So it was not at night. That was a mistake from my man over at Fox, Bill Hemmer. Shout out to Bill Hemmer.
About half an hour later, this surveillance video showed him calmly buying a vape pen at a nearby 7-Eleven about 4 miles from the crime scene. Smith has a long and extensive rap sheet for dozens of crimes in 3 different states. What you're seeing are mugshots taken over a period of 10 years. So at the time of Brianna's murder, he was free on a $1,000 bond. The reward for information leading to his arrest, now $250,000.
It never stopped zooming out. The camera kept zooming out to show all the mugshots. Let's count, shall we? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right on the nose. 1 dozen since 2010. Okay, that's 3 times arrested in 2013, 3 in 2016, 3 in 2019, 1 in 2010, and 1 in 2020. And he's on the run right now. They're trying to find him right now. So the last one, a murder, cold-blooded for no reason at all. The woman didn't know him. He was a total stranger on the street, probably on drugs. I'm willing to bet he's on some kind of drug. If you are homeless in LA and you're violent like that, 99 times out of 1,000, you're going to be on drugs of some sort, some kind of drug. That's usually how it goes. Now, I'm not saying that everybody that's homeless is going to be on drugs, because you have some homeless that you don't really see too much. They live in their cars. They might even work. they mind their business and they're homeless, but they're not going to be out there. Like, if you're just a regular normie that becomes homeless in San Fran or LA, you're not going to be out there flinging doo-doo at somebody on the street. You're not going to be doing that. You're going to be in your car, somewhere off in the cut, trying to be safe, trying not to be involved in the drugs and the nonsense that goes on, like in Skid Row. And if you're living on Skid Row, you're going to be a dope fiend. That's just what it is. You're not going to live in squalor like that if you're not on drugs. They're very dangerous people that are on these drugs. People say, "Oh, well, we got to legalize all drugs for what? Why? So we can have more of these ridiculous, violent, and dangerous people roaming the streets?" I think not. And whenever anybody says that, I say to them, "Okay, do you want to live next to the dope house where they congregate and smoke their drugs? Do you want to live right next door to a meth lab? Is that what you want to do?" I think not. So let's stop playing games. But I'll play a little bit more of that video because the father also spoke.
Her father blaming her death on the far left policies of soft on crime political leaders.
I'm not blaming anybody by name. I blame what's endemic in our society right now is that everybody seems to be oriented on giving back rights and bestowing favor on people that rob others of their rights.
I mean, perfectly said. Perfectly said. Okay. But people, you have two kind of people, in my opinion. You have those that are just normies out here that don't know any better. And they buy into this whole narrative about this whole victim narrative of the poor person, poor homeless person. He needs services. He needs help. He needs mental help, blah, blah, blah. But really, what you have is a violent and dangerous criminal who is also a dope fiend, which makes the violence worse, which underlines the violence. That's the problem. Okay, like all that other stuff, that's all just ridiculous nonsense. Violent criminals don't need to be coddled. That's like trying to coddle a mountain lion. It's like it's a mountain lion. It's going to eat you. You can't coddle it. You try to coddle it and try to pet it, it's going to bite you. So don't be surprised when half of your arm is missing when you get done trying to coddle a mountain lion. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. You understand? So people got to stop playing games like this. Let's just stop playing games. Right? So, yeah. Rest in peace to Brianna Kupfer. Really unfortunate. Stabbed for no reason at all. She's in the store working, minding her business. And here comes this guy, stabs her, walks away with like no provocation at all. That goes on a lot. There was also a nurse. I said she was a young lady, but she was not a young lady. She was 70 years old. She was a nurse for 38 years. Lived in LA. She had a bus stop, waited on the bus. A guy comes up and hits her, just hits her in the face. She falls. She dies later of her injuries. 70 years old. I mean, how are we going to fix that with bail reform? How are we going to fix that by trying to be nice to these criminals, people that commit violent acts of crime? How are we going to fix that by these actions to reform the police? How are we going to fix all these violent crimes by defunding the police? And you know what? Speaking about defunding the police and things of that nature, that whole movement was so stupid and hypocritical. Okay, just like Black Lives Matter talking about, yeah, we're anti-capitalist, but yet you get a whole real estate portfolio worth $3.4 million, and the money came from BLM proceeds talking about I do other things. It's like, look, lady, nobody was going to your finger painting challenge concerts before you became a member of Black Lives Matter and you really blew it up. Nobody cared about your fat suit concert before you became part of BLM. The reason why you have money right now is because of BLM. That's why. That's why you got money right now. But now the politicians, these people will say things like, oh, well, we don't want to criminalize homelessness. We don't want to make them be othered and things of that nature. But that's all, what they say, what the cool kids say, it's all cap. That's all fake. It's all fake. And here's a matter of fact, hold on. Okay, hold on. I'm going to find this right quick. This story right here really kind of puts it all together. And if I can get some, there we go. Let's put it on the screen right here. So you see the headline, Brianna Kupfer's councilman Mike Bonin opposes, quote, criminalizing homelessness, but asks to have a, quote, trespasser removed from in front of his office. Okay, so you don't want to criminalize homelessness, but you got a homeless guy probably tweaking hard as he can in front of your office, and it's like, look, man, get him out of here, man. Send him to the penitentiary. I don't care where he goes, but get him out of here. Matter of fact, send him down to Skid Row and let them deal with it. Let people that live right there, let them deal with his ridiculousness. Don't have him right here in front of my doorstep. That's how they are. Just like, I forget who it might have been Alyssa Milano or somebody talking about, okay, we got to defund the police and the police are terrorists, all this, that, and the third. But then when there was a young man on her property shooting at squirrels with an airsoft gun, she called the police then, and the whole entire force showed up. It was like you had a helicopter, K9 unit, fire truck, everybody, police, fire, federales, they all came out for an airsoft gun. But yet we got to defund the police. Except for you. You got your own little private police force, so we want to have more money for private security and private police, but for regular people, regular normies, we get fewer police and no private security. Can't even own a gun. Can't even have a proper magazine in California. 10 rounds in the rifle mag. What am I gonna do with that? If I got one of these guys that's high on methamphetamine trying to attack me, I'm gonna need 30 rounds in my magazine. I'm sorry, because they might get shot twice and not go down. Okay, it's like trying to shoot a zombie that's on max level in the video game. I'm gonna need my full magazine. I can't do nothing with 10 rounds. Sorry. Let's get. Matter of fact, I need a few rounds. I need to be Rambo out there. I need 30 rounds in the weapon, and I need a few more rounds in my book bag. So if I need it, I can go ahead and do it. So I'm here for the long haul. But anyway. They all do that. So when anybody ever says to you something like this, ask them, what would they do? Okay, you are in your bed sleeping. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, and you hear this loud screech right in front of your door, screeching. You go to the front of your door. It's a lady. She's taking the clothes off, throwing doo-doo on your door, drugs everywhere. What you gonna do? Just let it happen? Let her do that? Or are you going to call the police? Like, please get her. My kids are scared. My dog's going crazy. Please get her right now. Or just let her stay there. Come on. We got to stop playing games and we got to start being real. Ain't that the real world road rules? Stop playing games and start getting real. Let's do that. But anyway, I'll move right along. I will move right along. What else we got going on? Oh, Mike Todd. Oh, my goodness. Man, okay. I promise you guys, I'm not going to play that video because that was a tough one. And I warned you guys from the beginning in my video I did about Mike Todd, pastor, quote unquote, pastor Mike Todd. I said from the jump, if you are squeamish, please don't watch that. Do not watch a cat video, watch one of my old videos, but don't watch it if you're squeamish. You guys didn't really heed my warning. Some of y'all kind of were dry heaving a little bit. So I'm not going to play the video at all. I'm not going to do it. However, Pastor Mike Todd went way too far with his demonstration or quote unquote illustration. He was trying to illustrate Mark 8:23 in the Bible, of course, scripture. And the scripture, you guys pardon my ignorance, but the scripture said something like, he took a blind man from the village, Jesus that is, he took a blind man from the village and spit on his eyes and then made the blind man see. If I'm wrong about that, y'all please let me know. You guys are scholars in the chat. You know the Bible. A lot of you guys, if I'm wrong about that, let me know. But the scripture is Mark 8:23 or 22 to 24, that line. he was trying to illustrate that with a visual aid on stage. Now, what he did was he spit on his hands and smeared it on his brother's face. I was like, man, you know what? And he didn't do it right away. He kind of did it and held it. I don't want to describe it because it's kind of gross describing it. But I'm like, sir, if you put a droplet of spit on me on purpose, we have to fight. Because if I let you do that, then you think you could pretty much do whatever you want to me. And that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. You got to fight right now. Do not put any spit on me intentionally. If you just happen to be talking and you're spraying it rather than saying it, and you say, my bad, man, I'm sorry. Okay, no problem. It happens. We're all human beings, right? But if you do that on purpose to show an illustration, now we got a problem. Let's not do that. This is a pastor during church, a mega church. It's called, I forget the name of the church. It's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now, it's a mega church. He black. I'm not sure about the congregation. Are they black or what? I don't know, because churches are weird. Sometimes you have a black pastor with a mixed crowd. Sometimes it's mostly non-black. I don't know the crowd makeup, but that's not even really relevant right now. The whole point is that it's a mega church, and he is a very well-known pastor, a flossing pastor, in my humble opinion. I've seen him before. I saw him on Instagram flossing. And that word, if you don't know what that means, basically showing off, dressing excessively. I come from when I was a kid, when I was a youngin', and when I go to church, when I went to church occasionally, the pastor, he have on a nice regular suit, Men's Warehouse, Sears, and that's it. It might be the same suit, different tie. That's what I like. You look nice, but you're modest. You're not going over the top. I don't want to see my pastor in Gucci flip-flops on stage preaching. I don't want to see that. You're like a rapper in your dress. I don't want to see my pastor emulating a rapper. I don't want to see that because I come here for a different thing. Just by seeing that right away, I'm judging you. I'm sorry. I can't really get past how you look. And I was right to judge him because he did things like that. And he said it. He apologized for that, matter of fact. He said he looked back on it and it was gross. It was disgusting. And he apologizes. But there were some good words in the sermon. Go check it out. It's on YouTube right now. Go check it. So he was still trying to promote himself at the same time apologizing for what he did. You see what I'm saying? So I was like, you know what? No, I'm cool. I was right to write him off in the beginning. I didn't like the way he dressed. I did not like how he would have on this really expensive stuff, rapper attire, $1,000 shoes. I don't like that. You can look nice without breaking the bank. I'm not saying don't have nice things, don't look nice, but go to Men's Warehouse, get your suit tailored by a Chinese lady for like $10. You can spend $100, $200 and be looking just fine. Not $10,000 on a Gucci suit. Stupid stuff like that I don't like. So yeah, that whole thing was gross. I understand think about using visual aids, right, to illustrate certain scripture. I understand that, but you don't want to go far like that. And he had to have known this was going to be nasty because it was something that was choreographed. It wasn't like he just did it randomly. He brought his brother on stage, put the spit on his face. He thought about it, wrote it down, thought about it, probably rehearsed it, and went out there and did it and got a negative reaction. The crowd, collective gasp from the crowd. It was gross. So yeah, Mike Todd, I don't know. It's a lot of guys that are just like him. Maybe not necessarily gross, but I feel like they just, this kind of new wave of preachering I'm not necessarily a fan of. Now, my word may not be necessarily things that a thing that matters to some people because I'm not really religious anyway. But I have been to church. I do enjoy a good word sometimes. I respect Christianity, but it's too much weird stuff going on for me to just say what I am or what I'm not when it comes to religion, if that makes any sense. But I definitely respect Christianity For sure, 100%. That's what our culture is based on. It's based on Christianity in America as Americans. Of course, you got people that practice Islam and other things in America. I respect that too, as long as you're not going to do no Allah Akbar in no building and, go sky high, but that's a different story. I respect everything. But Christianity is our bedrock religion. Unfortunately, there's a lot of guys out there that kind of want to tear it apart, like a Mike Todd. He may mean well in his mind, but he's not doing very well. Got to tighten up and do something else. Some of these other churches are kind of weird as well. I don't want to name any names right now because I don't want to offend nobody, but you already know what I'm talking about. It get really weird. So yeah, showmanship. That's right, other side. I don't want to see you go in there and put on a show. This ain't no concert. This ain't no rap concert. This ain't no Barnum and Bailey circus. I'm not trying to see you jump through no ring of fire or bring an elephant on stage. Just preach the word. You can be verbose. You can be animated, I guess, in your speech. You can be captivating without being disgusting or without being ridiculous at all. That's pretty much how I look at that. So there's a lot of guys that are just like me. That's why a lot of men don't want to go to church anymore. To speak on a deeper issue, people don't like church as far as men. We don't like church because we see things like that. We see ridiculous things like that. And if it's not something that's weird and gross like that, what he did with the spit, you have a lot of these pastors that prey upon the women's emotions to try and get money out of them. So they can also drag the kids with them and drag the husband with her. And we don't like seeing that. We don't like the emotionalism. We don't like, especially strong men, we don't like that. Now, I'm not saying that's all churches that are like that. Please don't get that misconstrued. I've seen some good pastors. What's his name? Vadi Baltram. I've seen him preach. He's pretty good. There's a lot of good guys out there, but there's so many dishonest people, bad actors out there. It makes the whole thing bad for all of us. Unfortunately, that's just kind of what it is, right? So that's pretty much how I feel about it. That's my walk, I suppose. But am I 39 pocket watching? Oh, pocket watching. Oh wow, nah. I'm not worried about. I'm not a pocket watcher. Okay, that was a good comment, Justice Smith. I'm gonna read more super chats in a minute, but he said I'm pocket watching. I'm not 39, but I'm 37 by the way, not 39. So you're about 2 years off. But I'm not worried about how much money he has. I don't like people that show off. You know what I'm saying? Because you can be a the guys I know that have a lot of money. I know guys that got a lot of money. I know millionaires. Like, I know a few millionaires. I don't like them. I don't like when they floss. When they just, the rapper kid. You know what I'm talking about? Big chain with his name on it. I mean, stupid stuff like that. Gucci from the head to the... It looks tacky. It's gaudy. It's like, look at me. I got money. I don't like that. I don't like when you present yourself like that. You can have money, and that's fine. But I don't like the ostentatious, is that the word? Nature of how people just show themselves. I don't like that at all. Especially a pastor. If you're a rapper or a rock star or you're Beyonce or something like that, I get it because it's part of your costume, right? It's part of your costume. You got to be attractive. You got to be playing the part. It's like if you're in a movie and you have on a Captain America outfit. If you're playing Captain America, I get it. Dress as the part you play. But if you're a pastor, I don't want to see you in a Gucci suit. A lime green. Are you a pimp or a pastor? Which one? Pick one. Just one. If you're a pimp, that's fine. If you're Don Magic One, all right, that's your host, that's your character. I don't condone that, but I understand. I know who you are. If you are a policeman, wear your police uniform. If you're a fireman, wear your firefighter uniform. But a pastor, how do we dress? How do we present ourselves? And just like me, like I'm always pretty much present myself the same way I am right now. It might be a suit if I got to go to a suit function, if I got to go on TV, but that's it. And I tell you right now, I don't have any custom Italian suits or nothing like that. I get them from Men's Warehouse and Jose Bank on sale all the time. But I digress. That's just my personal thing. I could get a custom Italian suit, but why? I don't like flossing. But I digress. I was kind of a rant, and I went down a rabbit hole on that one. So let's keep on moving. Yeah, exactly, Anthony. Pulpit pimps. That's not the church. Yeah, I don't like pulpit pimping. Not at all. If you're going to be a pastor, be a pastor. If you're going to be a pimp, be a pimp. Those two things are not the same thing. If you're going to be one, stay where the one of them goes. But I'll move right along. Did I get everything that I wanted to get to? I got Supreme Court, vax mandate, and yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to get to. Okay, we got super chats on deck, and then I'm going to get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. I'll get to that in a few, so y'all just hang tight. I got super chats on deck first, and we'll keep on rocking and rolling. So where are we at here? Let's go to supers, and today is the 19th. Let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, thank you to Apple, who says, rest in peace to Crystal Byron Neves, 19, and Brianna Kupfer, 24, who were murdered while working to pay for schooling. So sad. Crystal's murderer spews BLM rhetoric while Brianna's killer was on bail. Really sad, really, really unfortunate. I saw another story where there was a girl who was killed at in a robbery. Hold on, was it the same girl? Nah, this is somebody different. Yeah, Burger King. Yeah, the Burger King girl. That's Crystal Neves in Harlem. Yeah. And a guy, he wound up getting arrested, and he was talking about reparations and stupid stuff like that. I mean, come on. Ridiculous. Killing kids over like $20 for what? But anyway. Also, New York Post cover story, 21 youth have been murdered in New York City in 2022. Wow, already. 21 kids so far have been killed this year. 2022, just in the first 19 days of the year. All of them people of color. Where are the BLM marches? Where are the progressive tears? That's a great question. That's a really good question. You know what? I would be in favor of BLM if they talked about things like that. If BLM spoke about, even if it was just black kids that get killed by gang violence, drugs, and things like that, okay, I'll be with you on that. But they don't. All they do is talk about when a white person is suspected of killing a black person for nefarious reasons, if they're a police officer, and they want to go out there and tear the neighborhood down, if there's a suspicion, and that's it. Not even necessarily a fact or a thing that was justified, like Breonna Taylor, that was justified, but it still wouldn't go tear things up. Now, if Breonna Taylor was killed by a boyfriend or something like that, they wouldn't even care. That's my problem with BLM. That's the actual problem. The violence and the lack of caring, people that get killed if they're not a white police officer or something like that, or a white person in general. Apple also says, Ray Epps, are you afraid of the deep state or God? Put on your Marine dress uniform, confess your treason to Jesus, then go on Joe Rogan and tell the American people the truth that you were entrapped. MAG. Shout out to Little Lost Sheep Music, who says, ABL, you are great. Just saying thank you for that. I appreciate you. Bob vs. Windshield says, Russia is going to invade Ukraine. China eyeballing Taiwan very heavy. This is a direct result of the inept administration. All Biden's fault when people die. Hey, you know what? You got to blame the guy that's in charge, because if it was Trump in charge, they'd blame him 100%. You know, I was watching the news today, and they were asking this question, like, can we blame Biden for what's happening? And they were like, no, it's Trump. It's like, wait a minute. Wait. Trump is not here no more. Biden's the guy that's in office. So you can't just say for 4 years that everything that went wrong or any kind of misstatement that was heard by the mainstream media, oh, Trump did this, Trump did that, he's the reason, all that and the third. You can't blame him for things that go wrong during his time, but then don't blame Biden for things that go wrong in his time. If he's the guy, then he's the guy, period. You've been in there for a year. What have you done to make anything go correctly? Nothing. Thank you to Apple, who says, God bless January 6th, MAGA Patriots in DC jail and solitary. Also, please donate to Patriot Freedom Project to help. Also, ABL, tell us about the movie in which you star. Well, I heard somebody told me I'm in the Jonathan Isaac movie. So Jonathan Isaac, a lot of you guys may remember, he is an NBA basketball player, and he refused to kneel during the anthem when they came back. Remember when they came back for the bubble, and they had Black Lives Matter on the basketball court and Black Lives Matter on the jersey? Matter of fact, I'll give you guys a visual aid to help you remember. So I did a video about this and everything. So so you see what's going on. So they all have on the Black Lives Matter shirts. They're all kneeling. And on this court, you can't see it because it's cut off. But on the basketball court, there's a gigantic Black Lives Matter, I guess, logo right there on the court. And here's my man, Jonathan Isaac, refusing to kneel while they're kneeling. Okay. So that was a pretty big moment. Now, there's a movie coming out about him on Deadly Caller, if I'm not mistaken. And I think I'm in it, but I don't know. I've not seen it, so I don't know if that's true or false. So shout out to my man, Jonathan Isaac. He has a book coming out as well. And the book is called, hold on, give me 1 second here so I can just tell you the right thing and not tell you the wrong thing. The book is called Why I Stand by Jonathan Isaac from Daily Wire Books. So that's coming out this year, May 17th. You could pre-order it right now on Amazon. Why I Stand. This is not me doing an ad. This is just me helping them out. So check it out. But I'm in that movie, I heard, but I'm not really sure. I've done other movie roles that have not come out yet. Like I'm not an actor, obviously, but I've been in other movies that have not come out yet. Put it to you that way. And I can't say what they are until they come out. And let's go to some more here. Thank you to Buffers Windshield, who says, Lips say, reimagine police. I say we need to reimagine the education system, bring back real education, and stop the Marxist training in schools. I'm with you on that 100%. And we got to bring back real parents too, because the problem with education is not only the school systems. It's not just them, because what happens is, the reason why they say it's a school to prison pipeline, because a lot of these black kids especially, they have nothing when they go to school, meaning they're empty when they come to kindergarten or first grade or whatever it is. They're empty. When I was a kid, my mother trained me on like certain things. It was flashcards, it was Sesame Street, Reading Rainbow. Like I knew how to read and things of that nature a little bit before I got to school, before I got to kindergarten. I had kind of an upper hand. So I was always kind of like ahead of my class in early school because I already had everything. I already could color and read a little bit and count, and I had basic skills. But a lot of these black kids don't have that. They don't have it. They go to school and can't read at all. They can write their own name. They can't tie their shoes. They can't do anything. They have no skills. Meanwhile, they'll sit right next to a white kid that has all the skills that I had. So the white kid, of course, will do better than the black kid because they started on unequal footing. But whose fault is that? Is that the fault of the school system? No. Is it the fault of the government? No. It's the fault of the parents, period. So the parents got to be on point, and you got to have schools that are on point as well. If you don't have both, then you're not going to have success. You're going to have a serial drug dealer or a gangbanger, or he's going to be dead before you get to be graduating. That's what's going to happen. He'll be 15 years old and dead. That's generally how that goes. But I'm a digress. I promise I'm gonna digress. Thank you to Apple again for a few who says, what are your favorite movie characters, ABL? Oh, that's a really broad question. I don't really know right now. I don't know. Also, I like Doc Holliday by Val Kilmer and Tombstone. Well, I'll tell you this. I like the as far as actors in movies, I like the what was that? The Heath Ledger Joker. Oh, top tier, top notch. That was a great performance. I like I like Val Kilmer in the Batman back in like 92. That was a good Batman he did. Danny DeVito as Joker. I mean, as a Penguin, that was a good one. And then Ben Affleck was okay as Batman. He was okay. He wasn't that bad. I thought when they said we're going to have Ben Affleck as Batman, I'm like, Ben Affleck? What was he in? Jiggly or whatever that movie was? I'm like, man, him? But it was actually pretty good. It was actually pretty good, and it wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be. Not at all. But I'll move right along. Also, his name was Seth Rich. Epstein didn't kill himself. Defund the FBI and the rest, all FBI agents, traitors. Wow. And name of Holy Jesus, all deep state agents, repent your sins to avoid eternal damnation. Tell the truth to the American people. Expose Democrat corruption. Reveal all communications of Democrats. Thank you to Caius, who says, I think we should peace protest at California city halls. Man, you know what? At this point, it's so far beyond that. We could do that, but what's it going to do? If you live in California, escape. And do not bring your California politics with you. Do not vote for what you left. Don't do it. Because all you're going to do is bring the same problems with you. Them same crackheads, the same ridiculous teachers, the same high taxes, high price costs. It's all going to follow you to your new place. So do not vote how you voted in California. Do not bring California with you. Leave California in California, period. Apple also says, oh yeah, Michael Keaton. That's right, Michael Keaton. Pardon me. It wasn't Val Kilmer. Michael Keaton back in 92. Yes, Michael Keaton. That was really good Batman. Nah, it was Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer, Michael Keaton, they both played really good Batman. Batmen, I suppose. But anyway, I'm moving right along. Martha Stewart went to jail for what Nancy Pelosi did. Yep. If you're a politician, you could do whatever you want to do. Apparently, you can, like Marion Barry in D.C., a prime example. Marion Barry, back in the day, he was a mayor of D.C., right? He got on camera smoking. He got caught on camera smoking crack. And after that whole thing blew over, he ran again and got reelected. I mean, DC can't make it up. I promise. Can't make it up. Also, 1 year of President Biden, 1 in 10 scale. How you rate Biden? I give him a 0, man. He's breaking the scale. He's going under the scale. Bob vs. Windshield says, I got the new Rona right now. Oh, you got the Omarion? How is that? But that bug is going to meet a windshield of natural immunity. There you go. Hey, they came out and said recently that natural immunity performed better than the vax against the Delta variant. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me see if I can put an article up. Natural immunity, Delta. Okay. Okay, here's something funny. Okay, I got 2 articles, right? It's about the same thing, but they're different, and you're gonna see. So first, let's go to the CNN. Hold on. Matter of fact, make sure I got it. Okay, so here's something funny. Yeah, flu Rona. Oh yeah, is that the new strain of the bug, flu Rona? Okay, check it out. So here's one article from CNN. The headline reads, when the Delta variant dominated, vaccination and prior infection protected against the virus, but vaccination was the safest, study finds. So you see it right there. Vaccination and prior infection protected against the virus, but vaccination was the safest. What they say. It was the safest. Is what they. Now, here's Reuters. Prior infection more protective than vaccination during Delta. You see how they did it? It's safer to get the vax, apparently, but prior infection, meaning natural immunity, that's better than getting the vax. We said that back when it first started. We said that back then. You have an immune system. It's God-given. It works perfect. You got all kinds of things you're around all the time. There's all kinds of viruses and bacteria and disease and illness and sickness every single day you encounter. All the time in the air, you touching stuff. You going to Food Lion, Tarjay, touching stuff, all kind of germs everywhere. You have an immune system that's designed to work. And it did. This is on Reuters, a very well-respected and well-known news source. This ain't left, right, or whatever. If anything, they're more leftist. So, come on. Didn't we already say that, though? We already said that. And now here we are. Here we are. Yeah, a big plate of word salad, and it's iceberg lettuce. No nutrition, just straight water. And it's old water as well. It's old water. But we'll keep on moving. And where are we at? Apu says, if money is no object, your dream car, ABL, Ferrari, Lambo. You know what? I'm gonna just say something controversial. I'm not really into luxury cars like that. Not really. My car I have now is a dream car. My Tundra truck, I love it. I don't really like sports cars like that. I'm a big guy anyway. I don't really fit in a lot of these cars. So I know when I was I was like 17, 18. I was trying to get a car or a different car than what I had. And I probably was like 18, 19. But anyway, my neighbor was a dealer. He was a car dealer. And he had a car that he brought to the house that he was driving. Like, yo, so, see if you could fit in that. See if you could test drive it. I tried to fit into the car, and it wasn't nothing going. My knees all on the dashboard. I might have been a Honda Accord or something like that. So I can't even really fit into some of these cars. A Honda Accord, forget about it. I'm not sure about now. They may be kind of bigger, because back then, if you had a Toyota Corolla, I couldn't fit in that. But now, I had a Corolla after that. I had a Corolla back in like 2016 and 2018. And I fit perfectly fine in it. I'm 6'3", 215, so I'm kind of a big person. But back when I was like 19, I could not fit in no Corolla. And these sports cars, it's too small. It's like, imagine Shaq fitting into one of these little roadsters, little two-seaters. It ain't going. So I'm not really a fan of sports cars like that. They're nice to look at. I like looking at them. Or matter of fact, you know what? I get one of these old school, one of these big boats, old Cadillac, Kenny Red, something like that. That'd be my car I would get just to have. Granddad had a car like that. He had two Lincoln Town cars. He had a classic town car from the 60s and then the newer one, a green one. It's like a whole limousine with a decent size body. Not one of these big long limos, but it was like that on the inside. Give me something like that with a cigarette tray in the on the armrest. I don't smoke, but I want to have that for the old school feeling. Old school car, no big wheels on it, nice regular size wheels, something real classic like that, like kind of a restored classic, like an antique car. Give me something like that. But these fancy sports cars, I don't like personally. Oh, Broham, yes, a Mercury Broham. Yep, he had a Mercury. Yeah. He called it Big Red. The old one was called Big Red, and that thing was big. That thing was humongous. Give me a car like that. Smooth riding. Oh, the town cars. Oh, don't get me started. The town car was smooth as silk. It was like right on the pillow. The little cloud that Goku had in Dragon Ball Z, like riding on that. But anyway, I'll move on, because we get the calls in a minute. Both versus Windshield says, I went to the free test site. USPS will only send one kit free per household. Each kit has 4 tests only. Not enough for many homes. So it makes no sense. Mark Stravino says, ABL, who do you prefer? Stacey Abrams or Caitlyn Jenner for office? Man, you talking about that? That's not really a good choice right there, sir. I'm not sure I like that too much. Man, it's got to be it's gonna have to be Big Bruce. It's got to be Big Bruce Jenner, aka Caitlyn. It's got to be Kate. Give me Kate, man. Stacey Abrams, I can't do nothing with Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams is terrible. Stacey Abrams is so bad she couldn't even win Atlanta in Georgia because she's anti-gun. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you're anti-gun, that's going to be a no-no even among black folks in Georgia, because everybody got guns in Georgia. Everybody. Women, men, young, old, black, white, Puerto Rican, whatever. You can be anti-gun in Georgia, man, forget about it. Go to California with that stuff. Okay. She couldn't even be a black mayor in Atlanta, in my opinion, for that seat. But I'll move on. Thank you to Mom Bear, who says, public service programs are broke. They are begging teachers and healthcare workers to get out of the system. Quote, anti-vaxxers will be blamed when the systems officially collapse. Get out now and create something better. You know what? I think you're right about that. And the writing's on the wall. It's on the wall. And they are having pretty much anybody teach. Parents just with no kind of education, bus drivers, anybody. Nothing against bus drivers or parents. You guys are great, fantastic. We need you guys out here doing what you do. But if you have no training to become a teacher, then what's the point in going to school to become a teacher? If anybody can do it. And if that's the case, why not just bring kids home and teach them there? If you're going to be a parent going to school with no prior education, no training to be a teacher, teaching class, why not do that at home? Have a homeschool group with other kids that are right there in your living room. Makes sense to me. Thank you to Caius, who says, ABL, do you think Maxwell will get off the hook? What you mean, off the rope? Or I don't know. Because she did get convicted, I think. So now it's a matter of how long will she get? What's she gonna get as far as years? She won't get anything more than that, in my opinion. Little Lost Sheep Music says Skyhook for you, ABL. Yeah, definitely Skyhook. Thank you to Josh Foss, who says 2 super chats here. Thank you for the big one. Also, he says, what's up, ABL? Did you see the video on Rumble of Kerry Lake eviscerating the CNN reporter? Pure gold, man. I have not seen that, but I'm gonna check it out. Shout out to her. Let me see. I'm gonna look that up and see if I can get that at a different point. Hold on. Let me just bookmark this random story that will remind me. There we go. Also, Bugs Bunny says Eastern China is separated from the Uyghurs and Tibet by a barren wasteland. That wasteland is why China has always been antisocial. Wow. Yeah, I saw that big desert wasteland right there. And Tibet is weird because there's a bunch of mountains right there. You can't even fly over Tibet because there's so many mountains that are really jagged. You can't really fly over it. Also, shout out to Aaron Bethay, who says, in 2012, we worked like H to make sure the Uyghurs at Gitmo didn't go back to China. This has been going on for a while. Boycott the Olympics. Wow, we have the Olympics coming up just like right now, right? Is it going on right now today, the Olympics? And they're pretty much putting guys on buses now, on trains right now to go to the concentration camps. But they got the Olympics. So how does it really work? I'm not really sure. Thank you to Noel Garcia, who says, I'm sorry if Pastor Mike did that to me. Somebody has to hold my collection plate because we're fighting in the name of Jesus. Amen. Justice, already read that one right there. Sit on pocket watching. And thank you to A. Cannell, who says, as always, love the show. Keep it up, brother. Will do. Thank you for that. Thank you to Tammy F., who says, actually, James Comey ended up throwing Martha Stewart in jail for lying to the FBI. She was never really actually charged with insider trading. Oh, okay. Funny how that works. Thank you to Bina, who says, the emergency alert system was tested yesterday in Missouri. This is what it said. This is what it read. Gotham City, Mo Purple, Grant 1978, Dodge 3700, GT Mo, you kid me? Wow. Thank you to Kayas, who says, you think 22 and 24 is hopium with election fraud? I'm not sure what you mean by that. So basically, am I thinking that it's like a waste of time to vote? No, you still got to vote. The thing about election fraud is that it's local. It's not national. People just, they look at the presidential election and see it as a national election and forget that these are state elections still. You vote for the president and other things as well. You vote for your governor and whatnot during these elections. So they matter beyond just one person, beyond just one guy in one office. They matter. So if you have any election fraud, address that on a local level, on the city and state, not with the federales. That's how that's going to work. Okay. Now, as far as the mail-in ballots, that's got to be a thing that needs to be stricken away from the federal level so they don't encourage it. But again, go to your state people and have them fix what's broken rather than just writing it off because of what happened in 2020 or any kind of allegations of 2020 fraud. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying there was no fraud, but again, it's a state issue. But I will digress. Let's get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. But yeah, please vote though. Don't get discouraged because it's what they want you to do. They want you to get discouraged, then you refuse to vote, and then they continue to vote, and then they put in all their people, and then things that you want to see accomplished don't get accomplished in your local area, and they pretty much run roughshod over you. You don't want that to happen. You do not want that to happen. Let's keep on going here. There's also a Skype email if you want to use that. If it doesn't work right, it's not my fault. Please blame the white man. Don't blame me. You know how it goes. But again, a number to call, 434-658-1220. Let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling with the calls. All right, let's go to 479. You're on the line. I'm speaking to.
Hello?
Yes, 479. Who am I speaking to?
This is Andrew Stockton. I'm from Arkansas.
All righty, what's going on?
I'm a crazy guy.
Oh, hold on. First, turn your speakers on in the background for me, please. Turn the stream down for me.
Say again. I didn't quite hear that. Let me turn this down.
There you go.
Yeah. I was curious if you've seen anything about the Ashley Babbitt. The Salty Cracker did a report on it, and it's very telling.
So what happened?
Well, they found that she was trying to stop the rioters, and apparently they were Antifa and BLM.
Okay, now, but how was she trying? Like, okay, but when she got shot, she was in the window. So at that point, what was she doing?
Well, she was trying to stop them from breaking the windows, trying to stop them from doing damage to the Capitol building. And they had video on it too. He was showing video of it as well. It was pretty telling.
Well, that's pretty interesting. I've not seen that particular report myself. I'll check it out though, see what's going on with it. But it
wasn't just the Salty Cracker. It was also the Breitbart media that was showing it. And I guess it was one of the Antifa members. This is kind of funny. It was recording it, and they took his video and used it.
Oh wow, that's crazy. That's wild. But see, I wonder if it'll get to the mainstream media level. Will they cover it at all? Will they? I
kind of doubt it. But
and the reason why,
I know they're trying to hide it, you know.
And the reason why is because they don't have too much leverage to defend anybody involved with it. That's all. And I saw it coming right when it happened. I was like, you know what? There's no defense, and if there's any kind of election fraud or whatnot, it wasn't going to get found out because of that. I saw the whole thing coming, so it's really unfortunate. But I don't doubt what you're saying at all. But I do want to see it for myself.
Yeah, I saw it live stream. I was actually watching the whole thing live. So I saw her shot.
Yeah,
and she was laying on the ground when she was. I guess they were trying to hold the blood from going for her neck, but she was crying. You could see it in her eyes. It was really, really sad. I mean, it brought tears to my eyes. She knew she was dying. I mean, they got her in her probably carotid artery, and she knew she was bleeding to death.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate.
It's pretty sad. I hope they find out. Well, they know who did it. They know who shot her, and he left his gun in the bathroom. That's another thing they found. He left his gun in the bathroom. That's crazy.
Now, what was it in the bathroom during the Capitol situation, or was it like?
It was in the Capitol. Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm saying like during the Capitol situation, or was it like he did that previously?
I'm not sure. Actually, I didn't catch. It may have been previously.
Okay.
But I'm not 100% sure. I know they were talking that he left his gun out. I mean, anybody that leaves their gun out for somebody to take, that's just retarded, you know? That's dumb. It's not very professional.
I agree.
I'd never leave my guns out. I got 3 of them, so. Oh, that was another question I was going to ask you.
All right, go for it.
Do you know of any way I can get a laser sight for a Canik P9 GFX? Or do you know of any place that sell laser sights and lights for guns?
I'm not really sure. Probably a gun store. They would have one, because when I had guns back in the day before they all got washed away in the boating accident, I had got my sights from the same store I got my gun. So I'm not really sure beyond that.
Yeah.
Amazon probably, of course, but definitely a gun store. I will check there first.
I'm going to try to stay away from my Amazon. I was told I could go to work for them, but they gave you $300 million to BLM, and I'm like, not Marxist. No, I don't think so.
I got you.
Well, thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Sure, you have a great day.
Same to you now. All right, shout out to the caller. I found this clip right here before we get to some more calls. I found this clip, and I think they removed the mandates in UK for mask. There's no more mask mandates in UK as far as kids in school. And let's see if I can play this right quick before we get to some more calls. So y'all hang tight. So the caption says, "Please watch this British news program. A commentator who is a student reacts to the announcement that Britain is removing masks. Watch at 140 seconds. Her breakdown is what almost all students feel about masks."
Obviously,
all right, so let's go to 140.
Screwed over by the algorithm. I'm better than this. Got there, they cancelled them again, and I thought nothing I can do anymore. So this makes me so angry. They literally ruined our lives. And nobody spoke about it at all. And the commentators, they had union reps come on and say, this is what the school should have put in place. And they didn't care about what this did to us. And this is the first time I've ever spoken about it on TV, because I knew that I'd cry about it. But I literally watched and felt like my entire life was falling apart because of what this government did to young people, and nobody cares. Not one person has cared about children in this pandemic. They think, why are we putting masks on them when people can go to football stadiums and they can go to theatres and play Nadeem Zahawi sitting there at the teaching awards with no mask, and yet we're disrespecting kids. This pandemic will finish. The damage this has done for us is forever.
Man, that's crazy. That's super crazy. You know, this pandemic, man. Like it really in my mind, it's been over with. It's been over with. You know, and the kids wearing masks. The accent is pretty thick. Yes, it is. It was kind of hard, but basically, she was saying that they did a really terrible thing to us by having all these mandates as far as the masks and whatnot in the classroom. You know, and now that it's over, that's great, but damage is done. Basically, is what she was saying. Yeah, very upset, and I understand 100%. I totally empathize with what she's saying, and it's never have been any kind of mandate like that. It didn't work. It didn't help. So let's not do this no more. Let's not ever do this again. Let's just move on from this and do better. Let's go to 416 on line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, Anthony. It's Cigar Box here.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Oh, it's insane and getting more insane every day. I got a little bit of a bone to pick with that guy who's the owner for the Warriors.
Yeah.
Who says he doesn't care about the Uyghurs and we should care about our own problems first.
Right.
Like, isn't this kind of a bit of a what's the word? I can't think of it. But anyway, like his parents, I believe, were refugees from Sri Lanka, right?
Probably so. I'm not really sure about that, but I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, they came to Canada. So, like, by the grace of this country, looking out for another country's people, he was allowed to come here and become a billionaire. So he's now saying, I don't give a crap about people in another country with the Uyghurs, right?
Right.
So, I don't know. I think that's a little ignorant on his behalf.
That's a great point, because if he was in that same situation, if nobody cared about him and his plight and them wanting to escape Sri Lanka as refugees, then he couldn't be over here. So You know, so he has to. It's kind of ironic that he feels that the way about this. Very ironic.
Yeah. Actually, Sonia's scrapbook. She put up a pretty good video today, and it was on the voting rights thing. My opinion is, I don't even know why they bother with the worrying about the southern border anymore. And I'm actually surprised that the Democrats aren't trying to put a bill through that they can just put polling stations or voting stations up in Mexico and just let them vote from there, so they don't have to go through all this rigmarole trying to cross into the country.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Just go. Just say, you know what? Okay, you guys are now part of us. Just stop all the nonsense.
Yeah, like well, Beto O'Rourke and even who's that bug-eyed Cory Booker. They were down in Mexico last time and campaigning. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that. Yep, that was crazy.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, why not just say we want you as to be the 52nd state or something like that?
Right, exactly. I mean, that's what it was. It was really crazy to see something like that. But I think that was all about just optics, because they think that, oh, there's no such thing as borders. It's all, you know, it's okay. But they'll also say, put your mask on before you come into the restaurant. Put your mask on before you come to school. All these borders and whatnot, all these rules for certain borders, but not for others. It's all politics.
Yeah, we've got that here, like at Roxham Road, where it's in New York and it goes into Quebec. We've got a ton of illegals coming from New York into Quebec, like up to 100 a day sometimes.
Wow.
And so, like, we got all these rules if we travel outside the country to come back and get tested and all this, and if they don't with them, it's just come on in. Are they tested? No. Have they got vaccinations? No. Not a problem. Come on in. Infect everybody. It's absolutely nuts.
That's crazy.
I got a question for you, and this is kind of odd. Greg Foreman left a message on something that I had left on one of his videos, and he said to me he wanted me to get in touch with him on WhatsApp,
okay,
which I don't have.
Yeah. Okay, that's not him, because what's happening is that there's a bunch of people that are on YouTube that scam, that impersonate other YouTubers. If they say something about WhatsApp, or they say something about call me on this number, that's not him. That's a scammer. That's a bot. So do not email him at all. Don't call him at all. That's just not him.
Oh, okay. So, but how do they get the thing where it looks like a pinned comment? How do they put that in?
It's just what they all they do is it just have that in their name. Like they'll say, yeah, but it's not actually a pinned comment.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you very much for that. I'll talk to you later, and have a great night. See you later, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, these cameras are crazy on YouTube, though. Like, and I'm not sure what they're going to do about that as far as YouTube.com itself, what they're going to do, all the scammers, because people always email me about that. It was like, hey, is this you talking about WhatsApp? Just so you guys know, I'm saying it right here live. I will never say, call me on WhatsApp or something about Bitcoin or nothing like that. That's not me. Okay. That is simply not me. All right. My only number is right here, 434-658-1220. Ain't gonna be no WhatsApp or nothing like that. All you gonna do is call me right here on the show. I got a bunch of phone numbers. That's the only one you gotta know. Okay. All the other ones I will not list publicly at all. All right. 716 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello.
Hello. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, I'm speaking to Sean up here in freezing Buffalo.
All righty. What's going on?
Oh, boy. Well, you know, everything's being turned upside down. Good is bad. Bad is good.
Yeah, that's right. It's like Bizarro World, right?
Yep. All right. Did you hear that up in Japan, I heard this from, I think, a blogger, No, I heard this off of the over-the-air channel. What is it? American Voice. I don't know if they've got it up in your market. And one of the people on there was saying that in Japan, they're not mandating the vaccine anymore, and they're actually mandating that the manufacturers have to say, mention the side effects. And one of the major side effects is that heart inflammation and other stuff that's like messed up a whole bunch of people and killed others.
Yeah, that's a good thing they're talking about that now, because that had been a constant problem. A lot of athletes have been getting that. Male and female athletes have been getting the heart inflammation. A lot of young people that are very healthy that probably shouldn't get the vax anyway. I mean, really, if you think the vax works, which I don't, if you're young, you have no reason to get it at all. If you catch the thing, you're not going to die for the most part if you're healthy. Okay, so there's no reason. But among them, you have a higher risk of myocarditis and pericarditis. I'd rather just get the virus than myocarditis. So yeah, that should be a thing they talk about right now as far as what could happen to you if you get this particular thing.
Yeah. On some of the other stuff you're talking about, scripture. I don't know why in the world anyone would try to. I don't know exactly what he was teaching it by, but I suspect he was teaching these things as if, like a lot of these preachers do, they preach out of Old Testament as if these things still applied. And none of these people teach scripture how Jesus himself told it to be taught through the apostle he chose for us, which is the Apostle Paul. 2 Timothy 2:15, to be a workman rightly dividing the word of truth. Why do we, in the dispensation of the grace of God, need to rightly divide the word of truth? Because we're not Jews. There's a lot of things written to the Jews and about the Jews that right now has nothing to do with the body of Christ. But so many people mix up scripture, and they basically create people who chase after every wind of doctrine and have no stability that they stand on. And you wonder why so many people are, so messed up. I mean, Christianity, these kind of teachers are basically create a lot of liberals because they don't properly teach scripture.
Yeah, that's right. I agree with you on that.
Anyways, I just wanted to, mention that. Just, hey, anyone wants to ever go to a spot, I recommend one. It's Truth Time Radio. Truth Time Radio. All you got to do is just, pop up one of the programs, open up some scripture, and study along. And it's, teaching scripture with no chaser, comparing, scripture with scripture, spiritual with spiritual, which we are told to do in the body of Christ. Hey, God gave us a book, and it's complete. So, anyways. Just wanted to pass that on. I wish everyone a great evening, and we got to stick together on this and not become divided through all the division that's being constantly thrown at us.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, appreciate you. Bye bye.
All right, now. All right, let's get to a few more here, and the number to call is 434-658-1220. Let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling. Let's go to. All right, calling on line. Let's go to 917.
Hi, ABL. It's Corinne from New York.
All righty, what's going on?
You're good to talk to you tonight. I'm calling because I did see you mention that whole thing about Boris in the UK. That was good to hear. About them getting rid of the mask mandates and the vaccine mandates.
Yes.
That's very good. I hope that spills over to U.S. and, other nations. But I'm calling because I wanted to ask you, do you have any plans to go to D.C. on the 23rd, or do you know anybody that's going to the march?
I've not heard about it. What's going on the 23rd?
Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to, I'm sure there's, some people that might know, but just in case there's some listeners that don't, there's a march on the 23rd at Washington, D.C. And I would urge people to go. I know some people are kind of hesitant about going back to DC since January 6th. I haven't been back since October, but I think I'm going to go to this one. It's called Defeat the Mandates March, Worldwide Rally for Freedom. I think 10:30 a.m. at the National Monument. And a lot of speakers are going to be there. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Dr. Malone, Robert Malone is going to be there. Dr. Peter McCullough is going to be there. So it's just a good march to just support pushing back against these vaccine mandates because, over here in New York, I'm sure Eric Adams, he already put out a statement that he's doubling down on the mandates no matter what the Supreme Court decision was.
Right.
So people still got to fight, especially our deep blue states, with our crazy mayors and governors. So I would just urge people to attend this Sunday, January 23rd, DC. And there's a website, if I can, is that okay, ABL?
Go for it.
Yeah, defeatthemandatesdc.com. All words spelled correctly, defeatthemandatesdc.com. There's a bunch of info there about attending the march to push back against the mandate in Washington, D.C. on the 23rd. And also, just shout out to New Yorkers, stay strong. I'm out here too, have a little group on the weekends. We meet up and try to go into, show up to restaurants where they require the vax mandate, and we ask to be seated, demand to be seated. Not every time do we get in, especially when you show up in a group like that. But sometimes we do. But the point is just to keep that pressure on so they know, that not everybody's just taking it like that. Like, just keep the pressure on. Just let them know that there's resistance. So I'm just urging my New Yorkers out there to continue to push back as much as you can. Do not comply. We need mass non-compliance. So, just want to send that message out.
Thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
Thank you so much, ABL. Okay, you have a good night.
Same to you now.
Bye.
All righty. We got to go back to civil rights era. We got to do the sit-ins and whatnot because of the mask mandates and the vax mandates. I mean, I suppose so. Like, it's crazy how things are different depending upon where you live in the country. Like, where I live, that ain't going on. We could do whatever we want. We straight. 224 on line. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, well.
Hello?
Yeah, this is Anthony Brian Logan.
Yes, it is. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, how you doing? This is Dr. Anthony Fauci himself. Believe it or not, Mr. Science. How are you?
I'm all right. It's good to have the science on the line. Very good.
All right. Well, good for you. Well, listen. All right. I'm just going to cut to the chase right now, all right? I just want to tell you, from one Anthony to another, okay, I really beg of you. No, I demand that you and all your friends and all your callers on this show to please stop spreading all this misinformation about me. Okay, you're saying that I'm not an actual doctor, I'm not an actual scientist, I'm just a bureaucrat. This is what all you guys are saying. It's like the biggest load of hogwash that I've ever heard. If anything, I've ever heard in my entire 80 years of life that I've been on this planet. All right? Get what I'm saying?
I mean, but do you treat patients?
What do you mean? Okay, I wouldn't be hired by all of these other bureaucrats. I mean, all these doctors and scientists. If it wasn't for them, okay, I wouldn't even be here. Yeah, I do treat patients. As a matter of fact, I got a patient with me here right now.
Oh, okay.
NIH. All right.
Okay.
Okay, what else you want to know?
Now you've been in here since 1984, like the Reagan time, and you've not really had a great track record.
Can I cut in for a second? Can Mr. Science speak for just one moment?
All right, go for it.
All right, listen. contrary to popular belief, all right? You see, the AIDS crisis, if you can even call it that, it was actually a big success, all right?
It was a success.
During the 80s, and, as a matter of fact, Magic Johnson and Charlie Sheen, they wouldn't even be here today if it wasn't for my magical cures that, I don't have available right now because I'm still trying to keep that a secret, you see. But, people want to discredit my work of what I've done during the 80s. They don't want to feel like I've done a lot. I actually deserve more credit than I'm getting right now. See, they just want to discredit all the work based on the so-called failures of the 80s of what I'm doing right now with this coronavirus. All right? See, the Orange Man, he discredited my work too, and a lot of his conspiracy theories and all those unvaccinated heathens out there, they say that, I'm not an actual scientist, all that conspiracy garbage. All right.
Okay. See, now I got a question though, because you keep talking about the vax and whatnot. You keep talking about the vax being
Holy Sacrament.
The Holy Sacrament. Okay. Now, why is it not really working too well? People are still catching and spreading the bug, and they have complications and everything else. Yeah. So it's not doing a very good job. Huh?
What are those conspiracy theories on Fox News?
Nah, NPR, Reuters, CNN, they're all talking about the same thing now. It's not going over too well. It's not working.
I'll throw them under the bus and say they're pretty much the same thing.
Oh, okay.
If it didn't come from CNN, then I don't trust any sources. Okay? That's the only source of news that me and a lot of people here at the NIH listen to. Okay, that's the official.
Okay, so that's the only place that has any real news, CNN, nobody else, just one place.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
Well, CNN, New York Times, you name it, because everything else is just conspiracy theories for all the people who watch The Orange Man, Now, speaking of The Orange Man, we wouldn't have over 800,000 deaths if it wasn't for him, And,
okay, so
we got a real president, my man.
What could he have done to stop that from happening?
Well, if he wasn't so, if he just tried to get on the good side of the Chinese, rather than try to, be so hateful, and all these mean tweets that doesn't get us anywhere, it just causes a rift, the man almost caused World War III. The beginning of 2020 with, killing that.
Wait. So are you saying the Chinese created the virus and spread it to us because of what Trump was doing? So it was. So it did come from a. So did it come from a lab?
That wasn't it. No, you see, here at the NIH, we're just trying to, rack a lot of money. I mean, we're trying to help save lives.
Okay.
Okay.
Trying to get money. So
I don't appreciate.
Right.
I don't appreciate you and all. Right, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go to finish.
Okay, I don't appreciate, I'm just trying to say, I don't appreciate a lot of you and all your buddies and all your calls on this show discrediting my line of work here. Okay, this is years, decades of proved gain of function that we're trying to help out the world with all these magical cures, and
okay.
Discrediting that is discrediting science itself.
Right on.
Science revolves around me, not the other way around.
All right. Well, okay. Okay, science. Well, thank you for that call. I appreciate you. It's always good to have science on the line.
All right. And please get the Holy Sacrament if you can, along with all your other friends. All right.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, now I appreciate it. All right, I'm not going to be able to get the Holy Sacrament, sir. The science, like Fauci did say that for real. He was like, "I am the science. If you don't believe me, you don't believe in the science because I am science." It's like, what? You're science for real? How about figuring out the science how I throw a fastball across the home plate? The science is too off. It's kind of off on that pitch. Let's do some more calls here. 978. You don't know how I'm speaking to.
All right, I'm not going to be able to get the Holy Sacrament.
978. Hello. Hello, 978. Okay, if you call into the show, please ready to be on the phone because you can't look at the stream. It's going to be a delay. So be right here ready to talk. Okay, let's go to 713 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
How you doing, Mr. Logan? This is Mr. Bo on the Top calling out of Texas.
All righty, what's going on?
Do you remember me? I called a few months ago about the subtitles in Spanish.
I don't really remember. Sorry.
It's all right. I don't know if you heard the latest about the that teacher that brought her son that was in the trunk.
Yeah.
I know you did a video on her.
Yeah.
The DA in Harris County dropped the charges, stated that they did not have probable cause to search the trunk.
So you have a child, you have a 13-year-old, like a minor in the trunk of a car, and they got dismissed. It's like, oh, ain't no problem. So what if it was a human trafficker?
Mr. Logan, are you brace yourself for this one?
Okay.
Allegedly / hypothetically, the teenager was sleeping at the father's job outside in the tent. When it got cold, they let him go inside the warehouse to sleep. I do not know if that is confirmed, and I cannot make this up at all.
I mean, this is clear child abuse, obviously. And then for the boy to be 13 years old and to be voluntarily going through with it, there's probably been an extended period of abuse, mentally and probably physically too. So there's definitely a problem there. Somebody should go to the penitentiary, but here we are with these soft prosecutors, dropping charges, not wanting to let things go through because, we got to protect, I guess, the criminals, not the victims. It's kind of strange.
And remember, where did she work at? What institution does she work for?
She was a teacher, ISD.
That is correct. Do I need to say anything else?
No, you don't. That pretty much says everything right there. It says it all. And
you know she's part of the teachers union.
Of course, 100%.
And where does these allegedly politicians get their money from? For what union?
What do you mean?
Teachers union.
Oh yeah, definitely. They get their money from. It all kind of goes together because they get money from the unions. They're buying the politicians. They're buying the prosecutors. It all kind of works like that. So if you're a teacher, you're pretty much bulletproof. Unless you kill somebody and they got the body and the gun, then you probably won't go to the penitentiary.
So that's it. You say it all. And I got a request too, Mr. Logan. When I get off the phone, can you please do your Bruce gender voice, allegedly?
I got you. Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it.
And one last thing. I've been praying for you and your wife to find a church. Your exact words, no pimping. So I hope you can find you a church that's not doing that. Have a good one, sir. God bless.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it. All right, so he wants to hear his Bruce gender, huh? He wants to hear Bruce gender, but I think Bruce is not going to be here for too much longer. We're going to the Olympic Games in China, and we don't want to have any problems. We're going to the all gender restroom. That's what we're going to do. Because I'm Bruce Gender. I'm sorry, my name is Caitlin now. The show I was on, the reality show, I didn't do very well. But we're getting back to the calls. The number to call, 423-888. Wrong number. I almost gave you my number. Wait a minute. Let's hold the phone. 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. You can't have my number. Don't do that. I'll give you the show number. See, I got caught up in the moment doing the Bruce Gender voice. Got me all twisted. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to let's try. Hold on one second. All right, James, what's going on?
Hey, Bill. Oh my gosh, that was a horrible Bruce Jenner, dude. Come on.
It's Bruce Gender. Come on, get the name right, sir.
Right. Actually, it was better than that dude calling us Fauci. Oh, man, that had me rolling. That dude was so bad. Did you see the Project Veritas files that got released about the vaccine and everything?
I've heard about it, but I didn't see it.
Okay, so like James O'Keefe is in Washington right now. They're going through all these things from the DOJ. I actually wanted to bring one up because it looks like, you're talking about early on, like Alex Jones looks like he's right about all this stuff.
Yes.
This thing came out and it was like, yeah, hydrochloroquine works. Oh, hey, didn't some orange man bad say something about that? And then like right after that, I'll read it to you here. Let me see. This is crazy. Hydrochloroquine identified April 20 as curative is identified in the proposal of SARS COVID inhibitor as an interferon identified May 2020 as a curative. Ivermectin identified as curative April 2020 works throughout all phases of illness because it both inhibits viral replication and modulates the immune response. Blah, blah, blah. Guess why they aren't letting this happen?
Why is that?
Well, okay. So Joe Rogan had on, this is December 30th, I think. He had on Dr. Robert Malone. It's a guy who, if he didn't invent it, he basically helped invent.
Yes. He was in the room basically while it was being developed.
Exactly. Right. And he said, I was kicked off LinkedIn. And Joe was like, LinkedIn? Really? Why? And he said, well, all I did was ask a question because everybody's always worried about, how you have conflict of interest. Mm-hmm. And Joe's like, well, why LinkedIn? He says, yeah, I just asked a question. I just wanted to know why the acting chair of, Reuters is also on the board of Pfizer. Isn't that a conflict of interest?
Yeah, definitely seems like one, because if you don't want any bad news to come out, if you want bad news to be kind of silenced, then it'll happen if you're going to be having that kind of conflict going on.
Exactly. Well, he said it's not so much like, these guys who are elitists, pushing their own money and stuff. They're just consolidating all this top money across the board. And they want it because, they want to keep making money. And if anybody thinks that they're doing this for humanity's sake, it's a little naive. But yeah. Pfizer, Moderna, all these guys have like upped their stock by like $15 billion. That's a crazy amount of money.
You're pretty much printing money at this particular point, because a lot of that money they're getting comes from the federal government, and they can literally print money. So that's
I
the
think
whole
they're
scheme.
doing that on purpose.
Oh yeah.
I mean, to actually printing money. That's the modern monetary theory, where a lot of, this goes like really deep into like economic theory and stuff, but the basis of it is that you have, okay, then there's a Marxist thing as well, but that's a different conversation for a different day. But the idea is you make the American dollar so worthless that you could pay off all your debts, right? It's right. Just, you have so much money that it doesn't count for anything, but we have so much debt to China that, the administration can then go, oh yeah, here's your debt paid off. But by that time, our economy is so ruined. They're like, yeah, now we can start from scratch. And then they have that great reset.
That makes sense. So basically, y'all there's free money. So the money that you had in debt is nothing compared to all this free money. So it's like, just pay that. It's nothing. It's whatever. And then now, but you say the hyperinflation is here. Things cost too much to purchase new. The economy's done. Okay, push the button. Now it's all clear slate. Makes sense.
Exactly. Steven Crowder asked, he's like, if you're going to keep just printing money, why you bother taxing people at all? And I was like, that's a pretty good question.
Exactly, because that basically is a tax, essentially, to a certain extent. Yeah.
Yeah. One more thing, real quick. I know that you got a lot of callers always. You had said you wanted to debate somebody about the bail reform, right?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, so why do people rob and steal to begin with?
For various reasons. Maybe they just want something. They want money. They want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they want something, right? But you can't get it in any other way, and this seems the easiest route to it.
Well, you can get it in a different way, because if you steal something, you could buy it. you could buy it.
That's the thing. So there's something the Gini coefficient, and Peterson talks about this a lot. Any economic imbalance where there's like no way to move up in society. And so the only way you can get what your neighbor has is by theft or by violence. And so this Gini coefficient is like, anyway, it's interesting to look at, the higher it is in any given society or even street or apartment building, doesn't matter. The higher the dispensation it is across that board, the more likely the crime and the theft. But that being said, once you make a mistake, say you kind of Jean Valjean, you steal bread just because you're hungry the first time out, and then you get put in prison. And the whole point of that book, Les Miserables, was, that redemption of man is given to you at first, and then he's kind of like repaying it back the whole time. But people rob and steal, for something's happened. They made a poor decision. But after that, they go to prison. You get out of prison, somebody might give you a job, but it's never going to be a good job where you can have this great level of, a proper honorable career again. It's really hard to get through that. So not just bail reform or prison reform. We need to talk about like corporate reform. Like, is it possible for a person to get a job after they've been in prison if they've shown themselves to actually, because a lot of people come out and they actually are trying to redeem themselves, but they will never be able to get back to that. And they're like, it's just easier to stay in.
I'll tell you what happens, though. A lot of these guys, I know guys have been to penitentiary, like actual penitentiary, many, many years. I know guys have did 10 years, 14 years, 6 years in a joint. Now, the problem is when a lot of these guys go to the penitentiary, they go there because they don't have any skills. And when they're in jail, they don't develop skills while they're in jail. But a lot of these jails, a lot of these prisons have ways you can develop skills. But the main issue is skills.
Agreed.
That's the thing. So when they come home, you can get a job if you have skills. I know one of my friends, he is now a merchant marine. He did 6 years. Another guy has a plumbing business. He also did 6 years in the penitentiary, like in prison, straight. So the issue, and they black, but the issue is people are just they're just kind of lazy, and they feel like, okay, I want to go work at a desk with no skills doing data entry, but yet I went to jail for bank robbery. How are you going to be working as a data entry specialist when you had a bank robbery on your jacket? You need to be finding some kind of other trade. People are just lazy, and they say, oh, well, I got a felony. That's why I can't get a job. No, it's because you don't have any skills and you're lazy. That's the actual problem.
People want the easiest route to the best outcome always. There's a great book on that called You're Not So Smart by, no, I'm not going to say the name because I'll get it wrong. But it's really good. It kind of talks about that. The thing is the perception of like, how can you get a good job, or how can you do well, or what is considered successful? And like Mike Rowe, man, he really pushes like skilled labor. These guys, you can do really well economically, financially, doing plumbing, electricians, these are really good. I don't understand why in society we say like, oh, lawyers and doctors, they're the best. Man, society doesn't go anywhere without like good plumbers, good, garbage men.
That's right.
You can get a really good job, and our perception of what successful is really needs to change. Listen, man, I'll let you get to your other callers, but it's good talking to you.
Well, thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, I'll talk to you again. I want to talk to you one of these days about that idea of church and what these guys in church do. But no, you shouldn't be dressing that ostentatiously.
Right.
Jesus didn't have a place to lay his head.
There you go.
Be humble. Be wise with your money.
Exactly. Thank you for your call, man.
Appreciate it. So you can bless other people.
Right. Exactly.
Yep. All right, brother.
Take care.
See you, man. Bye.
Hey, right on point. But yeah, I hate when I hear people talk about, oh, I got a felony, man, I can't get a job. Especially nowadays, like with people begging you to get. You could be a whole bus driver and teach kids. A bus driver with no education. You can have a high school degree, a GED, and go in a classroom and teach. I ain't really trying to hear it. It's the same way people, that are at Walmart, at Hamilton Place, where all the shops and stuff at. Okay, you got a mall, you got shopping centers, new spots opening up. You got restaurants that are being built that can't open because there's not enough people to fill the jobs. Yet people be right there with a sign talking about, please help, but don't have no money. Blah, 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 blah. Sir, you have help wanted signs everywhere. 14 an hour, 18 an hour, 20 an hour. Help, please help me. Stop. You're just lazy. But I'm getting triggered, so I promise I digress. Let's go to the next one. Alrighty, Les, what's happening?
Hey, ABL, how are you?
I'm well. About yourself?
Good. You should have had grilled Dr. Fauci there calling in to pretty much man up and accept Dr. Oz's debate.
I didn't know about that. So did he challenge him to a debate?
Yeah, it was recently. I believe Dr. Oz came on, I want to say Newsmax, and he basically said, he should come on a debate with me because he's just like, I think he said like a medical like tyrant or something. I know he called him a tyrant though. He called him out.
Wow, I'll pay money to see that. It's gonna be pay-per-view for sure.
Yeah, but that's never gonna happen though.
Of course not.
And just real quick in regards to your previous caller that came on, I think it's all not only perception, ABL, but there's a lot to do with it because it's culture. It's, in reality, how everyone's raised. And if there's a one-parent household, how were they raised in that one-parent household? So I think with that, there's a lot, that goes into it as to why people decide not to really do much with their life and decide to go like the career criminal route,
Right, exactly.
That's what I think, to be honest with you. I don't know, but that's just my honest opinion. I actually wanted to I wanted to touch on that, what you were saying about, first of all, about what's going on in Los Angeles with these trains.
Yeah.
And how you were saying that Biden now wants to go ahead and give just basically about the KN95s per American here in the US.
Basically, yeah.
Right. But then yet again, it's like what you said. Well, where's that going to end up in the landfill? We see that all the time out here as well, like outside in the street, wherever. Like, it's crazy, like how these masks are everywhere. And it's like, where's Greta at?
Exactly, because you should be getting triggered right now. How dare you? All this trash everywhere.
Right. And then when she goes on and she's like, there is no plan B, blah, 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 blah. Like, that's what we need right now. Oh my gosh. And then also we need AOC coming out here saying like, well, if we don't get this cleaned up, we're only gonna be around for 2 more years.
Oh wow, yeah, that whole thing was crazy. And people believe that too, like it's doomsday. We got 1 year left, 6 months. It's like, stop, please.
It's ridiculous, but at the same time, it's like you said, well, where's all these environment, like very interested people? Like, honestly, like, where's all these green, like crazy green addicted people at? I mean, I don't see them. I'm yet to see, a video or them come on, CNN or something. Like, I haven't heard anything.
Right.
And then in regards to, I want to talk about real quick, what is it? Pastor Todd, right? That you showed?
Oh, yeah.
Let me be really clear, okay? So I had barely came across that pastor because for my business, I have the TikTok. So, I mean, from time to time, like I'll go through it. And it's funny because he's like one of them that's always on the history. And not just that, one of my girlfriends, like she's very into like all that inspirational stuff. So she'll send me videos from time to time. And at first I was like, you know what? Like, I really like what this guy has to say, right? Just the messages. I did catch the way he dresses a little weird, but whatever. Like, I was like, yeah, that's fine. I just like the message. But when I saw that video yesterday, I had just finished a breakfast with one of my girlfriends.
I warned you. I did. I really did.
You did. I saw it and I was like, oh my God. I told my friend, I'm like, oh my God, remember that guy, that you showed me videos of, that pastor? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, one of the best guys that I love to watch. I'm like, ABL. I was like, he just did a video. She's like, oh, let's see. We're both watching it. ABL. We're almost puking. We could. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, I get the message behind it, but you didn't have to illustrate it that way. Like, that's just, it's disgusting. I don't want to see it. I know you're trying to prove a point, but at the same time, I think you can prove a point with all that nastiness involved,
That's right. Exactly. I mean, you could do that in a different way. You don't have to do that. And it could still be cool. It could still be, an attention grabber, but that was just way too much.
It's like you said, someone's spitting at me. We're fighting.
ASAP, right away. No questions asked.
And so now when I see him, like anytime I see him come up, or now when one of my other girlfriends that are into all this inspirational stuff too, she'll send it to me. That's like the only mental picture I get. I can't even watch his stuff anymore. I'm just like, yeah, I'm done. ABL killed it for me. But you are right in regards to how you were calling him out, and a lot of other pastors, because I followed that page that you had mentioned on that video yesterday you did.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? If you're coming to church, this is why a lot of people stray away, maybe not so much from the religion, but from actually being a part of a church, or whatever you want to call it, a church, whatever. But it's because of that, like little things like that, you have to, not that you have to notice it, but when you notice it, you start really waking up and noticing the fact that, well, where's the humbleness? Like if you're a pastor here trying to speak the word of God, I would really enjoy if you can just be as humble as Jesus was. Exactly.
That's all I ask. Like, don't be so, just out there in like the rapper attire. Be humble. Just and give me the word, that way I can receive it, and it's all good.
You sit in the Gucci pimp suit. I saw that picture on that page. I was like, oh my God, I have to see it to believe it. I saw I can't. Honestly, I would stop following and I would start, participating and sharing, like at least donating my money. I could. And I think that's just so too over the top. And it's like what you said, that's like really showing off. And in the house of God, it should never be that way. We're all there to get a word and a message, and hopefully to transform us in whatever way we lack, or just, more motivation in life. But you were so spot on. Thank you for almost making us puke, but we love you. You got to say it the way it is, though, and that's why we love you. That's why we're here.
Thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
Alrighty, ABL. Take care. Have a good night. God bless.
Thanks to you.
Bye.
So here's the Gucci suit that we were talking about just now. I think he's probably African though. So we're not talking about America, but when I say African, I mean like in Africa, not an American pastor, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, y'all let me know. But here's the suit I'm talking about. A Gucci suit, a lime green Gucci suit. If you wear this in church, I'm not trying to hear what you got to say. Okay. So the suit is $3,500 US. The shoes, $850. Gucci shoes, Gucci. Now, matter of fact, pardon me, for the jacket by itself is $3,500. Just for the jacket. We ain't even got to the pants. Okay, we didn't even get to the pants with no socks, and the watch too. This is ridiculous. Okay, you can be a pastor and get the word out without wearing this. If you wear this, I'm not listening to nothing you got to say. Okay, all I see is jet lag preacher. Oh, and the pants, $1,100. So $1,100, $3,500. You at $4,600. And the shoes, that brings well over 5 bands for an outfit. And we need to get to the tie and the shirt and the watch and all that type of stuff. Ridiculous, but I digress. And the Instagram page that I was talking about, preachers in sneakers on Instagram. That was a pastor. His name is Pastor Passion. I'm not making it, pardon me, Prophet Passion. I promise. Prophet, his name is Prophet Passion. Okay, there's a whole lot of things on this particular page. Okay, and here is our man again. The man in question that had the really nasty video. Now, in this particular clip, here he is doing another illustration, walking on water. And the shoes, these are, what are these? Are these Balenciagas? Yeah, Balenciagas. You can get them on one of these websites for about $1,000. For the shoes by themselves. I ain't talking about the whole suit, just the shoes by themselves. Mike Todd is a mainstay on this particular page. If I see you wearing some Balenciagas, it's like $1,000 on your feet with a tracksuit and everything else. Come on, man. What are we doing here? So I first saw him, the nasty guy, the spit guy. That's him. I saw him in this picture. Like, you know what? No. No. We'll move on. And get back to the calls. Again, the number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. And that is the correct number, not my number. That's the number for the show. So let's go to 352. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yes, hi.
All righty.
I'd like to talk to Anthony.
It's me. You're speaking to me right now. And before we continue, please turn your stream off in the background.
Yes.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All righty. What's going on?
Okay. I was listening to him talking about the prisons with the other gentleman. And here in Florida, I am in touch with many inmates, and they do want to go to class. They've been in class. But because of the shortage of staff, they cannot go. It's not that they don't want to go and get an education. It's because their staffing is so short, they can't have class. Therefore, they cannot go to the class that they were already enrolled into.
So when that happens, what's the next step for these kids? Like, what do? Do they go home, or do they just loiter in the hallways? What happens? What's the next step?
What do you mean, kids? I mean, I'm talking about inmates.
I'm sorry. I forgot what you said. So you're talking about prisons. So they have class in prison, and since there's short staff, they can't go to class in the prison.
Exactly. They've been enrolled in class, then all of a sudden there's a shortage, and now they're just left to sit in their dorms and do nothing.
Okay.
They can't go and further their education. They can't, learn new trades or anything. They just sit there and do nothing.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate.
It's not that they don't want to further their education. Because of the shortage, they're not allowed to.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate because, as I was saying earlier, I know guys that have been to the penitentiary and they earned skills, they learned trades in the penitentiary. But if you don't have it available, then it makes it harder for them once they get out. A lot of these guys just need to have that skill. And once they come home, they can still find work. But if they don't have it, it'll make it harder. So that's really unfortunate. But that whole thing is kind of sweeping the nation as far as the understaffing. Now, is there a reason for it? And in your mind, why is that happening from your point of view?
My point of view is that they're shorthanded, and my experience with the Florida prison system, they treat these guys like they're animals. They're not human. And I mean, they send them to the hole for no reason. They beat them up while they were not supposed to be beating them up. The prison system in Florida is horrendous. They treat these guys like they're animals. There's some right now that have been months without medication for their heart conditions. They've been without medication.
I think my main question. I think my main question was as far as the short staffing. Why is the short staffing happening?
That I don't know.
Okay.
But they need to do something because these guys are being treated badly and neglected because of the short staffing. They either need to get more people, more staff. Think of another way of handling that many guys with the staff they do have, or release the ones that are not hard criminals.
Well,
a lot of them, yes, they did drugs, but they're not. They did drugs. They learned their lesson, but yet they're still sitting in there. And if they're not going to better their staffing, they should at least let them out so that they can get on with their life. And the guys with the really bad health, either treat them the way they should be, or let them go out to where they can have their own doctors, and their doctors can take care of them so that they don't die in prison.
I think the main thing we got to focus on is the short staffing, because some of these guys need to actually be in the penitentiary. Even some of the low-level guys, they need to be there. But you don't want to, at the same time, have an inhumane situation. You want to have everybody have their rights, even if you are in the penitentiary. So the main thing is we got to just solve the short staffing problem. And I think, from my humble opinion, I think the reason for the short staffing is because you have all this free money floating around from the federal government. So people say, you know what? I got all this free money. Why go to work? I don't need that job. And we got to end that because the short staffing is an issue all over the country beyond the penitentiary. So that'll probably be my solution to that problem.
Well, one thing I heard from other, actually the guards and some of them, that they here in Florida are not air conditioned. And nobody wants to be in that atmosphere when it's 90 degrees outside, 89, 90 or worse. Inside without an air conditioner, it's over 100. And that's not right to the inmates or the guards that are working there. And that's probably why they're not getting more guys to work there.
Well, I mean, I guess that makes sense, but I thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you.
All righty. So yeah, I mean, that's one of those things. It's one of those things, I suppose. Let's get to a few more calls. So the number to call 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. And let's go ahead and get rocking. Let's go to. Hold on one second. Okay, the phone lines are jam packed. 316 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, this is Matt from Kansas.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Oh, nothing much. Just drinking a couple of beers. Just thought I'd give you a call. You know, why is everybody so freaking angry constantly? ABL, dude, listen here, bro. Okay, so people are like all angry all over the world. They're angry. Why doesn't anybody want to just freaking chill out, freaking have a little bit of beer, maybe stop being angry at other people's success? I mean, like, listen here, dude, I am broke, okay? I work a dead-end job, okay? And I'm happy. And you got people out there that are just making millions of dollars, and I am not hating on any of those people. I encourage it. I'm like, more power to you. More power to you. You know, we ain't gonna get nowhere being jealous of other people's success, being jealous of other people's freaking skin color. I mean, ABL, dude, I mean, we people here in the earth, people say it's even flat and stuff. I don't even know about that stuff, but I swear to God, ABL, dude, listen. Okay, we got to it's the year 2022. If we don't freaking understand that we are just Homo sapiens, we have a serious freaking problem, dude. Okay? And we need to stop being so angry. I mean, because why are we being angry for? We're angry because we're stupid. I feel like that is really one of the problems that's going on, is we're angry because we're stupid. And in fact, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to do this right now because ABL is the man. I have to say this. We have got to start advancing. We have got to stop retarding. We have got to advance, not retard. You can look this up in a truck driver's freaking owner's manual to be able to drive one of these vehicles, to figure out these two freaking words. Okay? And ABL, I just want to let you know, bro, I'm going to freaking slam beer for you. Freaking take my ass to work tomorrow, keeping a positive attitude. Just love you so much, America. America, yeah, girl. I'm out.
Okay. So he's a happy drunk, I suppose, right? He's one of those guys that like sings to you and all that kind of stuff, serenades you. You know, you got some guys that come up here, they don't know, they slurring their words, don't know what's going on. Then you got guys that want to get real violent, start to fight you. So he's the kind of guy that would go to karaoke and sing Beyonce songs and start twerking. That's him, right? But we'll move on. Thank you for the call, sir. And a nice little song at the end. That was a nice touch. That was a nice touch. All right, let's continue. Let's go to 918. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man. This is JD Scotchman calling from Oklahoma. I just heard that one dude from Kansas going off about drinking beer. That was pretty funny. But there's a couple things caught my attention. Like someone was talking about Dr. Oz earlier and how he's running for, Senate in Pennsylvania, and that he also like challenged Dr. Fauci to a debate, which I haven't heard of that, but I guess that's true, is it?
I suppose so. I've not heard it myself, but I don't doubt it.
Yeah. Well, that just made me think about something. Back in 2015, when Dr. Oz on his show challenged Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton to come on his show and talk about their medical history and their conditions. And Trump did it. Trump is like, okay, here's my letter from my doctor that I've been with for 20, 30 years. And Dr. Oz checked it out and said, wow, this looks good, And Hillary was nowhere to be seen, because her letter would be probably like 100 pages long.
That's right.
Yeah. And then it also occurred to me today, like when Joe Biden had his so-called press conference, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I just watched some highlights here and there. And one guy asked him about his mental ability, like why do like almost half of Americans think that you're not mentally fit for this job? And his answer was, I don't know. I mean, why can't we demand the same out of Joe Biden that they demanded out of Donald Trump? They wanted to impeach him for not being mentally fit. And they were ready to, and Trump's like, okay, well, I'll take a cognitive test. And he did, and he passed it with flying colors. Why won't Biden do the same thing?
Well, I think they know Biden can't pass the test, so they don't want to subject him to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. He would not pass the test. He would not pass it at all. I mean, Pelosi, Schumer, who else is that little Humpty Dumpty guy? Nadler.
Oh, Nadler.
Yeah,
I forgot about Nadler.
Yeah. But no, that just caught my attention. I'm like, yeah, they put Trump through all this, for years, and he showed up. He answered. He's like, okay, if I'll talk the talk, I will walk the walk, and he did. But Biden and all these and Hillary, they won't do it.
Not at all.
Yeah. And what else was I going to say about? Oh yeah, that one lady that called him a while ago about the prisons in Florida, about not having air conditioning in the prison.
Yeah.
I'm from rural Oklahoma. I mean, it gets over 100 degrees in the summer, and I've spent days and hours working outside, like moving furniture up and down stairs in like over 100-degree plus heat. And I did that by my own choice.
That's right.
I wasn't in prison. That was my job. So I don't know what the hell she was on. So. Anyway, man, I love your show. Just calling in, give you a little rant, But yeah, keep it up.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right, man. Thanks.
All right, shout out to the caller. Now, you brought up Jerry Nadler. Remember this video? Hold on. This was probably one of my favorite videos from back, what was it, 2019 when this came out? Yeah. So this is a classic. Hold on.
Executive privilege must be asserted by the president personally, and as the Nixon case in front of the Supreme Court, which was decided 9-0, pointed out. Executive.
I mean, you can't ignore the guy. He's right there in his ear. Lose again, Nadler. I think this is when they had lost the whole thing with the Russia collusion situation. They lost that. He was out there doing the press conference and he's getting heckled. Excellent video. One of my favorites. Let's go ahead and put that in the favorites. Hilarious video. Shout out to Nadler. I've not seen him in a minute. You know, I don't know what's going on with him. Is he in hiding somewhere? Is he still in government? What's going on? But anyway, shout out to Nadler. But anyway, the number to call, you know what it is, 434-658-1220. Let's do 626 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, ABL. This is James calling from Los Angeles.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Oh, just pretty crazy coincidence today. My wife had to go into work earlier today around 9 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And she works in Pasadena. And you did a story today about that poor college student, Brianna Kupfer, that got murdered in that furniture store.
Yeah.
And her father was distraught, and he made a statement how, you know, society and politicians kind of hold these criminals, you know, higher than, you know, put them on basically on a pedestal. And long story short, they have a homeless problem right there in Pasadena. That's a couple miles east where I live.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's getting pretty bad in LA. But she was walking by this guy waiting on the bus stop, and she was telling me that no, hold on, babe. Okay, hold on. She just wants to tell you real quick what happened.
Okay.
Oh, hi. Jimmy loves you, by the way. That's my husband.
All righty.
Yeah. So I'm walking. I'll try to make it short and sweet because I've told the story like 4 times, so I can get it down to a few sentences. I had a work meeting. There was a training at Sephora. So normally I don't go in this early. I came in at 9, and I'm walking past this guy who's homeless, and he's on a bus stop. And he has wrapped himself in a blanket. And me as a woman, I have like really long blonde hair and everything. And I'm like, you know, I'm not trying to look pretty when I go to work, but I'm covered with my hoodie and whatever. And I try not to make eye contact with anybody, you know. I don't want them to ask me for money or anything like that, because there's him and there was another guy on the side. I don't know if they were together or whatever, but so I'm walking past through them. I get into work. I did my training. About an hour later, the whole place is swarmed with cops. We're looking out the window, and I have a black manager who's looking out the window. She's so amazing. Taylor's like so cute. She's so cute. But she was very concerned because when they started apprehending the guy, it almost looked like a Floyd incident. They were being so aggressive with the guy, and they put his hands behind his back and everything. And she's like, I really hope that they don't hurt him. And I go, I hope so not too. We didn't know anything about the situation. We're not on live, right?
We are live, yes.
Oh God.
So keep on going. It's just me and you. Just me and you.
Okay. So anyways, we saw that they took him into custody and everything. And about 15 minutes later, there was news crews, there was ABC, there was Channel 5, and then there was helicopters flying all over the place. And then they wanted to interview her. Did you see anything? Because we have these big windows that show all out into the... Yeah. You threw me off there.
Got big windows.
The guy... Yeah. So anyways, we could see them apprehending, and there was really a massive amount of cop presence. And that's why my Taylor, my manager, was kind of concerned, and I was too. I'm half black and half white. I was like, what the heck is going on? What are they doing to this guy? That's too much police presence on this one guy, you know? And so
some time passed by and we found out that this guy was the guy that murdered the woman that was in he was the furniture store like 5 or 6 days ago, and that he was like awaiting the police and everything, but he gave himself up. He could have ran into Sephora.
So hold on. Wait. Slow down. So was he the guy that you saw before you went into work? Was that him?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
There was no bus coming, and I was kind of like, and I know there's no bus coming right now, and he's just like, sitting out there and everything. And I did duck my head down. I was like, I had rollers in my hair and everything. I was like, I just didn't want to make eye contact with him. And now I know I should be more aware, because this guy, the person that found him, when I looked out the window with Taylor, my really cute, like, cushy little black girl manager, we were looking, and then we saw some guy run, like jaywalk across the street, and he had his phone, and he was being really aggressive, getting up close. We think he was the one that recognized him, and that had called the police. So he wanted to have everything recorded on his phone of, I caught this guy. I was the one that called. I want video proof of it. And the cops just came like, no, go back. And then they had all these big helmets on and everything, and they were like, go back. And there's like 5 of them. And I was like, whoa, why is a pedestrian just running up doing that and being so aggressive? And now I realize that was probably the person that called them and said, I recognize this person. And, he said, come get him. He's at this bus stop right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. So was this after was it after the murder happened, or was it before the murder happened?
No, this is when he was on the run.
Oh,
and they caught him today in South Pasadena. They caught him today at South Pasadena on Colorado Street.
Oh, so this just happened just now, like today.
Yeah, like it happened around 9 a.m. this morning. I've been trying to look at the news, but nothing's showing yet, because, well, they're not showing. I don't see where I work. It was confirmed? Okay. Yeah. No, I knew it was confirmed, because all the girls in the store were saying it's confirmed. This was the guy who murdered the girl in the furniture store. And he just randomly everybody thought it was her boyfriend. It wasn't. It was just some random homeless person that went into the store and just started stabbing her.
Yeah. So I see it right here. So I see it right here. They did arrest him. And he was waiting for a bus, like you just said, near Fair Oaks Avenue and Colorado Boulevard.
Yep. That's exactly where I work. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Small world.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So exactly. And the thing is that this poor girl was alone working in a furniture store. And my sister told me they long back in the day, they used to make her work alone when she'd have to use the bathroom and stuff. There was nobody else in the store. And that's a very vulnerable situation. He must have known that she was alone in that store. And then she was texting her friend and being like, if there's a weird situation happening right here, there's this guy here, I'm all alone. But her friends didn't get the text messages until hours later.
Wow.
So sad. And she was violently killed, like violently stabbed. Yeah. She's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, here's Jimmy. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought I'd tell you that story. You're right. The crime's gone up. It's been the highest homicide rate here in the past 8 years. It's the highest it's been. Police reform, it's not working,
Yeah, clearly not.
Said.
Right.
Yeah, I just thought I'd call and tell you that. It was just a weird coincidence that my wife actually walked by a murderer today and didn't even know it.
Wow. Well,
that's how crazy things are.
Well, I'm glad she's okay, and I'm glad that the guy got arrested. Hopefully they don't let him out this time and let him go commit another crime.
They're not going to let him out this time. They can't. Well, yeah. She just wants to say goodbye, Anthony. I'm a big fan, man. I'm glad I got through. She just wants to say bye, bud.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I just forgot to tell you that what I actually witnessed was him getting handcuffed. I didn't see when they actually did the whole encounter, but I did see him getting handcuffed. The other thing I saw was this looked like a crazy person just running across the. I told him not already that he was running across the street and he had his phone in his hand and he was up close and the police were like, stand back. And now I put it together. This was the guy that recognized him, who's getting probably the reward and wants everything documented on his phone. It's a $250,000. They've made it all up to that with donations and everything. $250,000, donation to get this guy or any information. And that's why he was probably like running across the street, which had no crosswalk, and it was up in the police officers' faces, and they were like, stand back. Like, who is this crazy guy doing this? But he was probably the one that called.
Right, yeah.
Right? Doesn't that make sense?
It makes sense because I did see it was a big reward out there. When I saw the reward, like, they're going to get him now because, $250,000 is a lot of money on a line to not turn them in. So, well, I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad you made it safe. You didn't get hurt by this guy. So I thank y'all for calling in. Definitely appreciate y'all.
You.
No problem.
I didn't watch your channel before, but I think I'm going to watch it now.
Thank you. I appreciate you for that. Go ahead and subscribe right now. All right now.
You sound better on the phone. You sound real cool on the phone. All right. Here's Jimmy.
Good night, bro. God bless you.
All right. God bless y'all. All righty. Yeah, that's crazy. So basically, in a nutshell, what happened was she was on her way to work and she saw these two sketchy guys, or at least one sketchy guy, right by where she works. And she's trying to avoid them, trying to do the whole thing, holding her head down, making no eye contact, just minding their business. And then an hour later, you got cops all over the place, cops swarming in a particular area where she works. And the same guy that she walked past is the same guy that was getting arrested on the ground, and they're being real violent and aggressive with him because this is the guy who allegedly killed Brianna Kupfer in Los Angeles in the furniture store. I did a video about that earlier. That was the guy. They got him today. And there was a story that came out from LA Times about 3 hours ago. And what she said was exactly what happened. It was right by the bus stop on the corner. That's what it was. It was a big reward out there. $250,000 cash. Yeah. He was definitely going to get found for sure. And he was a bum anyway. He was homeless. And when I say bum and homeless, I'm talking about guys that behave like this, guys that are criminals and kill people. I ain't talking about you just, you on hard times or whatever, falling on hard luck. I'm talking about criminals that kill people like this guy. So yeah, they caught him. So would it let him out? Hopefully not. Hopefully murder is enough to keep you in jail. Hopefully there's no zero bond on murder. Maybe you should stay in jail for a while and don't come out until the trial happens and then you get found guilty or innocent, just maybe. But LA is LA, so we'll see what they'll do. But I digress. Let's get to maybe like one more call. 586 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. This is Drew from Detroit.
All right, man. What's going on?
Not too much. I just wanted to talk to your viewers and you about Amazon and some of the things they do to local communities, like the community my family's staying in. I lived out in Michigan for, 9 years, and they always delivered packages right to my door. I lived in a house, didn't think nothing of it. And my family, they're living out in an apartment, and there's like a blind guy in our building. There's an old guy with a walker. And Amazon puts it all on USPS, and if it doesn't fit in your little box, then, they won't, you got to go pick it up on Saturday. And there's a line out the door on Saturday for USPS to pick up your packages. You got old people, you got people wasting their time. And for about 9 to 12 months, every time a package showed up and they did that to me, I got it for free because I'm paying them $20 a month for it to be delivered to my door. And that's their policy. And America needs to start complaining more because I did that for 9 to 12 months, got about $1,600 to $1,800 worth of free packages. Then they finally got it worked out because I made the cost of doing business unacceptably too high. Mm-hmm. And now there's 6 to 8 Smile vans here in this condo community, and everybody gets free packages.
Oh, wow.
Or gets their packages delivered to their door. So if this is happening in your community, I just want to put that out there. If you're not getting Amazon packages delivered right to your door, you complain, you get it for free. They should not be making you drive 15 miles just because you're in a rural community to go pick it up from the post office. That's not right. So I just want to put that out there. That's all I had to say. Thanks very much.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. You know, see, luckily, I don't have that issue because everywhere I lived, it was in the city, number one. And then number two, even when I was in the apartment, my apartment, you could just drive straight up to it. It wasn't like one of these complexes where you got to go upstairs and stuff like that. Like, even if you had stairs, you could still put the package right in front of the door on the ground level. Like the way our apartments were, you had my apartment, you could just walk straight in it from the ground level. And then next door, it'd be a door right, on the ground, but it had stairs immediately. So you go up to the apartment that way. But regardless, you would still put the package right there on the front. I also have a UPS box, which is on my website, by the way, anthonyblogan.com. I have a UPS box, so if you guys want to send me something, you can send it there, and it doesn't really matter how big it is. They can take it because they'll just put it in the back behind the mailboxes. If you send me a letter or something like that, it'll go inside the mailbox itself. But beyond that, they put it behind the counter or whatever, and they know who I am, so I already know what time it is. It'd be like box 110, right? I go pick up my stuff and it's fine. But that shouldn't be what I have to do for all my stuff now. Okay, so nah, that's kind of messed up for that to be the case. But Amazon, they pretty much taking over the world, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending upon how you want to look at it. Okay, do I have any more time? I think I have time for one more call, and the phone lines are blowing up, so y'all please pardon me. 613, you don't learn who I'm speaking to.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, ABL. I'm calling from Canada.
All righty, what's going on?
Yeah, I want to say a long-time listener, first-time caller. I'm a really big fan of your show because there's not a lot of conservative media here in Canada to listen to.
I've heard. It's like, pretty much you're in a liberal area, like the whole country. Like there's no conservatives really at all, except for people like yourself. But in politics, things of that nature, it's not really too many.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you recently heard, but our prime minister actually in French, when he was being interviewed, he referred to unvaccinated people as being terrorists and extremists. And he even said, should we tolerate these people?
Wow.
It was a really, really scary remark to have your prime minister make.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. I mean, if I hear that, I'm thinking about trying to relocate and go somewhere else or try to hide away because I don't want that to be a target on my back.
Yeah. I really liked all the stories you covered this week. The one that you actually covered today was really, really interesting because watching you kind of just show all the mugshots that he had, it's surprising to think that that's how many chances that people are afforded when they commit crimes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, over and over again. And then it's not enough. They still want to say we need bail reform. We need sentencing reform. And it's like, well, this guy done had so many chances at a certain point, he's a menace and treat him that way. He's not a victim of circumstance. He is a criminal, career criminal. You have 12 mugshots. That proves the story right there.
Yeah, exactly. And I was thinking it was 3 different states I think you mentioned that he was arrested in. But what's interesting is they don't have like a 3-strike policy. Like, let's say you commit a crime that's somewhere between community service and maybe a year in prison. But if you do 10 of those in a row, there should almost be like a 3-strike policy that says, hey, this is your 3rd time doing this. Now it's like a 10-year sentence, mandatory.
They have that in California, but only for felonies, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, interesting. Okay, cool.
So even like, well, I thank you for calling. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, and thank you for everything you do. I'm pretty much just toggle between you and a couple of others because there's nothing to follow in Canada. You give us a lot of hope.
Well, I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I'm here for you, and keep on watching. Thank you for calling.
No problem. Thanks, ABL.
All right, now. All right, that'll be a wrap for me. We're at 11 o'clock p.m. right on the dot. Thank you for joining. If you couldn't get on tonight, I'm sorry. It's not my fault. Please blame the white man. But I will be back live again on Saturday. I will be here. I'm not skipping no days. This has been a great show. Thank y'all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. So if you enjoyed what you heard tonight, please give the video a thumbs up if you have not done so already. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. I'm not sure what's happening. I think I'm losing subs. I don't know what's going on. YouTube is weird, but I'm still here, still doing my thing. I'll be live on Tatum Show if he does it tomorrow. If he does a Thursday show, I'll be live on there as well. But I'll definitely be live here on my channel on Saturday. And of course, I'll put out regular videos all throughout the week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I only don't put out videos on Sunday. But beyond that, I'm always putting out new content, new videos. And also my social media, I put out content there. So follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I'm probably on Twitter the most. Twitter and Instagram, probably my two main things. Facebook, but definitely Twitter, that's where I'm at. And right here on the YouTubes as well. And of course, go to the website, AnthonyBLogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to ABLmerch.com, ABLmerch.com, and also go to patriotpost.us. And of course, BHEdesigns.com. Check them out, all in the description box below. I got a few more super chats to read, and then I'll wrap it on up, put the bowl clean on top, and we'll be out. So let's go to the supers, and we'll get rocking here. So where am I at? Thank you to Matthew, who says, another great stream, ABL. Thank you for that. Did you hear Tim Pool got swatted again? I did hear about that. Yep. Let me finish reading the super here. Tatum wasn't there this time. Also, did you watch a clip of Matt Walsh debating gender pronouns on Dr. Phil? It's sad. I did not see Matt Walsh on Dr. Phil debating gender pronouns. Now, who was he debating? Was he debating Dr. Phil himself? Dr. Phil appears to be the kind of guy that will be in favor of gender pronouns. Well, you can just identify as whatever you want to identify as. Why the H not? You can identify as man if you want to identify as a man. Why not? That's Dr. Phil for you right there. That's it. That's his voice. That's how he sounds. So I got to see what he said about gender pronouns on that show and who he was debating. If it was not Phil, who was it? And I heard about Tim Pool getting swatted again, and it was some guy that had trespassed on the property. Look, man, I tell you that all the time. Don't come to my crib, though. We in the South, man. The laws are a little bit different down here. You come to my crib, I got a surprise. I got a surprise for you, and that's all I can say about that. So don't come to my crib. Don't come nowhere where you're not invited. Put it to you that way. If we got a meet and greet and whatnot, I put it out there on Instagram. Come on down. We could take pictures and shake hands and high five and do the Macarena cha-cha slide. But you come to my crib uninvited, oh man, man, I got a moat with some alligators in it, and you don't want to fall inside. So don't do it. So let's go to the next one. Thank you to Nicole, who says just nothing, just a nice super. Thank you for that. Thank you to Joe Rider 84, who says, ABL, imagine if the subway attacker was white as well as a synagogue intruder. Oh yeah, if these people were white, then it would be like, imagine if the furniture store woman was Asian and the attacker was white. It'd get a lot more attention than it's getting right now. Right now it's getting attention, but more conservative type sites, because she white and he's black and they don't want to talk about that. But if it was a different race or different races involved, then it'd be a different story. Okay. What's that? Regia? If I said that wrong, pardon me. My sub count is frozen for some reason. I don't know what's going on. YouTube hating on me. I don't know what's happening. I can't call it. I know it's something wrong, but I don't know what's going on. Okay. It's just weird. Maybe it's just slow for me right now. I don't know what's going on. But NKM says, you're surprised you found your soaking boat. The boat was gonna surface, it's gonna magically surface to the top. It's gonna rise from the depths of the ocean and come right to the front of my door. That's what happened. Okay. So let's keep on moving here. Let's see. Hold on one second. Bob vs. Windshield says, I read where the cartels and gang unions are debating whether guns are the source of violence. Unfortunately, the last 3 meetings ended in shots fired. Joe Rider 84 says, what do you think about the Babylon Bee? Love the Babylon Bee. Great website. They are a satire website, but the satire is so on point that it's the same as news. It's funny and it's satire, but it's also basically news. Okay, what's one of their headlines? Hold on, I saw one I want to read to you guys right quick from Babylon B. Now, this headline is satire, but it is news at the same time. Hold on, let me find that right quick. Give me 1 second. I got to find this particular headline. Where was it at? I'm going to find it because now I done already set myself on it. Oh, man, I ain't gonna find it. See, y'all always. Okay, let's go to Babylon B right quick. See if I can find it. It was about Joe Rogan. Matter of fact, it was about Joe Rogan. Oh, here it is. Entire medical establishment threatened by comedian who gets high and talks about MMA and aliens. That's satire. It's talking about Joe Rogan, of course. It's satire, but it's also serious. It's 100% serious because it was this whole letter written about Joe Rogan that was signed by 270 so-called scientists or doctors when really it wasn't even no doctors involved with the signing. It was some PhD students and academics. No actual medical doctor signed the letter. Okay, a podcast host signed the letter. Ridiculous stuff. Now find me some real people that are actually in the field treating patients that are going to speak out against Joe Rogan. They're not really going to if they're serious because they know what he's talking about works. They know talking about the antibodies and HCQ and IVM. They know it all works. So they can't sign something like that because if they do, then that could be called perjury because they know that what he's talking about is right. But I'll move on. Somebody said 270 Pfizer lapdogs, 100%. 100%. Okay, let's keep on going here. Thank you to Dara Alexander who says, I would rather them come out rehabilitated and be productive members of society over them getting out and robbing my house. Yeah, I agree with that. Now, some guys are not going to rehab in the penitentiary. Some guys are just going to continue to be criminals. But some guys are going to use the resources that are available and develop skills and come home and do something proper. But that's not all guys. Thank you to Eunice who says, best show on earth with the beer emojis, or that guy that came in and sing. Yeah, that was funny. Thank you to Jordan84 who says, ABL, what is your favorite patriotic song? National anthem, of course. And have a powerful singer sing it. Whitney Houston, Marvin Gaye, anybody like that? Yeah, 100%. Eunice also says Nadler is waiting for Trump. Trump brings them out of the garbage heap, like where Obama got Let's Go Brandon. Thank you to Luis who says, hi, AB. Not sure if my previous message went through, but if you haven't seen the Malik McDowell video of him naked in the streets, I heard about that, but let's continue. Tackling a cop like he was running for a touchdown is pretty much unforgettable. It's a must-see. Yeah, I heard about that. So Malik McDowell, this guy is like 6'8", 300 pounds, and an NFL football player. So a whole mountain of a man coming at you like that, it's kind of a whole lot going on there. Okay. Thank you to Sherlock Hemlock who says, thank you, ABL, for always putting together a great show. You leave us all with intriguing observations and many belly laughs. Much appreciated. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. I'm glad you enjoyed the show. I enjoy doing the show for you guys. And thank you to S4 who says, great show, ABL. Thank you for that. But that'll be a wrap for me. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. So I'll be back live again on Saturday, same time, same place, 8 p.m. Eastern time. It's right around 11 or so. But, and shout out to the mods for doing what you do, keeping them trolls in check. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.